little city of Hampton, Georgia, about 25 miles south of Atlanta, where the temperature is a chilly 40 degrees, but the racing is always red hot. Its high banks and unique configuration make this track the Atlanta Motor Speedway, the fastest on the NASCAR circuit. And today on FX, we kick off a fast and furious weekend of racing with the fourth Busch race of the year, the Aaron's 312, 312 miles, the longest Busch race on the season, and it should be a terrific race with a lightning quick pace. Hi, I'm Chris Myers, coming to you from our mobile studio right near the finish line here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and Sterling Marlin will be joining us in a moment. The 02 and the 2 car, that's Ryan Newman and Winston Cup rookie Kevin Harvick, are number one on the front row. Mark Martin, who of course no longer races in the Busch Series, won this race last year, but Greg Biffle, last year's truck champion, taking over in Martin's car, he starts fifth, someone to watch for in today's race. And we're going to start with our crew chief, Jeff Hammond. This track, fast and furious. Ryan Newman already set a Busch Series qualifying record over 191 miles per hour. What should we expect today?
Well, Chris, what happens when we come to Atlanta is this racetrack, the way it's laid out, the transitions back into the corners are so smooth, it allows the drivers actually to run down the corner without even lifting. Actually, you do not even touch the brakes as you go around this place here. It is just so smooth. The way the corners are made, the guys can drive it to the bottom, keep their foot in it. This place is very fast, and it's very exciting.
All right, Todd Bodine has a chance to win 3 in a row. Now, he came in, he's going to drive in place of Buckshot Jones, who originally was scheduled, but Buckshot said, hey, even though I own things, right, I'm going to give it up. But they're going to use the car that they used in Rockingham, not the one they originally planned for Atlanta. Why?
Well, it's real simple. Drivers are very finicky. When it comes to their race cars, they want to have what they want. And right now, Todd Bodine, he wants that race car. He feels very comfortable in it. He's won races in it. And when you come to a racetrack that's this fast, you want to make sure the driver's comfortable. By all means, you want to have the right race car under him. And right now, I think those guys have made the right choice.
All right, Todd Bodine also running in the Winston Cup race tomorrow. You'll see that on Fox. Let's go down to the hot driver. He's standing by with our Dick Bergman. Dick?
And the big question is, Todd, you run so well. You've got 2 in a row. There's only been 5 guys before you who have won 3 in a row. Can you do that today?
Well, I don't know. We don't quite have the rocket ship we've had the last 2 races, but car's really good. We've made some changes this morning, planning on the weather a little bit to change its racetrack, so we'll just have to see. Buckshot and Billy give us a good car again, and Gary and the guys have done a great job. It's just that's a long race, and we can make some adjustments and try to get back up there.
Now, this wasn't supposed to be a steady thing. This was supposed to be a once in a while. You're running every race. You going to be with us next week or not?
Well, I think we are. Right now the plan is, so we'll go to Darlington. I've always run well at Darlington, and maybe we keep it going there.
All right, well, good luck. Have a good day, bud. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Dick. Todd's a big Sinatra fan. We'll see if he can do it his way. Bodine trying to become the 6th driver to win 3 in a row. The last Busch driver to win 3 in a row was Earnhardt Jr. back in 1999. The record is 4, set by Sam Ard back in 1984. Todd Bodine leading the Busch Series with 2 wins. And a quick thought on a driver's mentality when he has to work in both, but he's on a roll in one particular phase of his driving.
It doesn't matter. When a guy likes to drive like Todd does, he's going to get in his race car, whether it's a Winston Cup or a Busch car, and he's going to put it flat on the floor. And the good thing about it is he's got a feel going. He loves these racetracks. Atlanta's a good track for him. I'm telling you right now, my money's on him. I'm telling you right now.
We'll get an official prediction from you in a moment. Coming up, Sterling Marlin will be joining us. We'll be talking a little Winston Cup racing as well. As you get a look at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, we're getting ready for the Aaron's 312. It'll be fast and furious. Some of the drivers that will be participating just about 18 minutes away. There's Michael Waltrip, the Daytona 500 winner, who has won 8 career races in the Busch Series. We'll be back on FX in a moment.
Son of the Beach season premiere Tuesday at 10. You ready, guys? This could be the ride of your life. You got to get past the myths and the excuses. Erectile difficulty is a common problem. Effective treatment is available. Talk to your doctor. You might be surprised how easily you can get through it.
Wendy's announces our honey ham and chicken sandwich is back with its whole breast filet, creamy Dijon, and honey ham. And you can thank Dave if you ever see him again. Wendy's honey ham and chicken. It's all the buzz.
Americans love their high-performance Briggs & Stratton engines. That's why just about every neighborhood in America is a Briggs & Stratton neighborhood. Briggs & Stratton, the power that works for you.
If you've got a big job, Labor Ready is the nation's leader in temporary labor and the first to offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you aren't completely satisfied with the work, call us within 2 hours and we'll take care of it, no questions. Just call 1-800-24-LABOR. You can find good help these days. Labor Ready, dependable temporary labor.
A chunky Super Bowl moment. Kurt Warner's mom filled him up right with Campbell's Chunky New England Clam Chowder. Now heartier than ever with bigger chunks of clams. Never did a clam do so much for a ram.
Americans love their high-performance Briggs & Stratton engines. That's why just about every neighborhood in America is a Briggs & Stratton neighborhood. Briggs & Stratton, the power that works for you.
FX welcomes you back to Atlanta, the Atlanta Motor Speedway site of some important historical moments in NASCAR. The fall race in '92 when Richard Petty made his farewell race. There's Ryan Newman. Also, Jeff Gordon made his debut, and Ryan Newman on the pole driving for Penske. Kevin Harvick, last year's Busch Rookie of the Year. And Jeff Green also participating. He'll start 21st today, 5th in Las Vegas last week, and, of course, the points champion last year in the Busch Series. Let's check the standings for Busch so far. Kevin Harvick, who's been busy in Winston Cup as well in a dead heat with Jeff Green. You see Greg Biffle third on that list. And as far as Winston Cup standings go, with the Cracker Barrel 500 to be run tomorrow, which you'll see on Fox, Sterling Marlin, the only driver to finish in the top 10 in all 3 races, leading the pack, as Dale Jarrett fourth, Steve Park fifth on that list. Jeff Gordon moving up to second after his win in Las Vegas. And it's our pleasure to welcome to our mobile studio here, the Hammond Hollywood Hotel.
Don't forget that now. You got a reservation here.
Nice of you to visit. You can check it whenever you want. You might have trouble checking out, though, Sterling. But let me ask you, being the points leader without having won a race yet, and then you come to a race like Atlanta, did your strategy change a little bit? Are you a little less aggressive given the circumstances?
No, we're not. I mean, we're going to take it race by race, and you know, we had a good chance to win 2 out of 3 races. We had a good car at Rockingham and run out of brakes, but the car seems to be working real well here, and had a good run last fall. So we'll try to run the same chassis combination and see what we got.
I was talking to Tony yesterday afternoon. He seems so rejuvenated and so focused right now. Have you guys, have you changed anything from last year?
Well, Tony, last year he really helped the 01 car. Yeah. And over the winter, they moved Tony over to me, and we picked up Lee McCall from Jeremy's team and just put a bunch of new guys in place, and Ernie Elliott doing the motors, and got our own fab shop going, and kind of got a little factory going there. So
the thing is, I want to make sure everybody understands. Tony Glover has been your crew chief when you drove for a couple other teams, and now he's kind of like back as a team manager, semi. Yeah. I mean, you can't take us old crew chiefs. You got to keep us
Everybody's
involved.
on a first-name basis.
Everybody wants to be involved.
But you've been the best of the Dodgers. You're surprising some people, and people thought Dodgers were sandbagging a little at Daytona when you get off to the good start, but you didn't really know what you had. No, he said they weren't. He said they weren't.
No, we tested in Daytona, and was about a half second off, and that's what I like about this team. I called Andy Graves up the Thursday after we get back from Daytona. So what we're going to do? He said, well, we're building 2 new cars right now, and built 2 cars in like 5.5 days, go to the wind tunnel, go to Talladega, and the new car's like a half second quicker. And that's what it takes. It takes a lot of work and effort, and Jeff knows you can't quit in this sport. You got to keep after it day in, day out to stay on top.
And that's probably one thing right now I think you're really faced with. You may be out front, but there's still a long way to go to November, isn't it?
A long way to go. I mean, we think we can, talking to Ernie, I think they can improve the motor some, and the fab guys think it can make some better downforce cars, so we'll just keep working and see what happens.
Have you been surprised with the Dodge power plant? Because I have. I can't believe how good it's ran and how durable it's been.
I kind of felt like, going into the season with, they've been in Truck Series for, 3 or 4 years now, and they weren't going to come in and be short-handed, and they really put a good deal together with the motor, and we've been tickled to death with it.
You know, people remember the death threat that came after Dale Earnhardt's loss at Daytona. Dale Earnhardt Jr. stepped out in your defense, and you spoke about that, and you had to have actually bodyguards in Rockingham. I guess since you haven't needed that, is that correct? And I wondered, Sterling, I think the viewers do too, how in the big picture that affected you in the way you race.
Well, we just, you know, it was a bad day in racing, and, you know, I felt like once everybody went back and looked at the tape, they saw what happened. And, you know, Dale Jr. coming and Michael stepping up and saying things, and, you know, I couldn't say enough about the fraternity here at NASCAR, all the owners, drivers, crew guys, and I mean, I've had a ton of Earnhardt fans come up and say, man, no problem. You're just racing hard like you want to, and it just happened. So it's been all 100% positive since, you know, the Monday after Daytona.
Right, and you have done an excellent job handling that and doing your job on the track. Thanks for stopping by, and good luck out there on Sunday, all right?
Okay, thanks.
All right, have fun. Sterling Marlin, your points leader in the Winston Cup Series thus far, trying to pull off a victory in Atlanta. And we'll come back as you'll see the Aaron's race here on FX. Looks like Darrell Waltrip on his way to the broadcast booth, right?
Exactly. Out of control as usual.
We'll be back in a moment.
Oh, baby, Tough Man brings out its best as we revisit LT's historic fight, along with a hard body.
I'm the baddest brother on the planet!
A chameleon.
Can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen.
And a Mac Daddy.
I got the choo-choo going on.
There's nothing better. The best of Tough Man 2001, today after NASCAR on FX.
A terrible tragedy. A naked cover-up. James Caan. This goes way beyond his loyalty. A glimpse of hell.
I hang out with a pretty trashy circle. The circle that helps this circle by recycling trash. We sort glass, plastic, separate cans, stack newspapers and magazines. Now, thanks to us, there are lots of products made from things we've already recycled. This cereal box wants your Sunday paper. These paper clips, in a more daring life, a 56 convertible. The circle works like this. It starts when we recycle trash at home and at work. It's completed when we buy products made from or packaged in recycled materials. How do you know the difference? Check the label for something called post-consumer recycled content. It looks like this. Make a mental note. Then buy the highest percentage of it you can find. You'll save a tree, you'll save energy, and in your own way, you'll help save the world. Complete the circle.
Call 1-800-2-RECYCLE for your free shopping guide. Environmental Defense. Finding the ways that work.
Now, FX is getting you revved up for all-new Son of the Beach. Monday, the night before the season premiere. Catch 8 episodes back-to-back.
Lord have mercy.
And during the night, you'll hear the Son of the Beach cast tell the real story about what goes on behind the scenes.
I don't really swim.
It was actually kind of fun being handcuffed to each other.
Plus, get a sneak peek of what's coming up in the brand new season. Son of the Beach Marathon, Monday night at 8 on FX.
Welcome back on FX as we're getting ready for the Aaron's 312 Busch Race. You'll see it live in just a couple of moments as the drivers are getting ready to whip around the Atlanta Motor Speedway. 312 miles. It's the longest Busch race of the season. And the cars lining up and ready to go. With Jeff Hammond on the pole is Ryan Newman, someone who works with Rusty Wallace with the Penske team, and that's had to be a benefit for him.
Oh, absolutely. When you got somebody like Rusty and Jeremy Mayfield in your corner to help you out, you got a big thing going for you right there. But the other thing about Ryan Newman is so impressive. He is an engineer, and he can really help his engineers understand what they're trying to do with the car when they go testing. To me, you know, he's a driver of the future for Penske, Penske Enterprises, and he's a great young man, and he's got a lot of talent. He's going to be great today.
But he's not your pick. Who do you pick to win today's race?
No, unfortunately, he's not. I'm going to go with the guy who's been getting the job done here lately, and that's Todd Bodine. Everybody says, well, maybe you're getting on a winner, but hey, the guy's on a roll, and I'm going to stay with him for a while.
All right, for Jeff Hammond, I'm Chris Myers. The race is coming up next. We'll find out who the contenders and the pretenders are.
You better pull the belts tight, lock and load, and get ready for one heck of a ride. Let's enjoy some pure American NASCAR horsepower.
Trying to find me.
Nice you can go. Nice you can go.
I'm standing in the middle of life with my pants behind me.
There you go.
And come on, baby. Get in the road. Come on now. In the middle of the road, yeah. Viva Blue Hawaii. Rainbow round the sun. It's so tense, they're hanging 100 and the hula hoop is just begun. Mahalo!
Son of the Beach season premiere Tuesday at 10.
It only happens once a year. And real NASCAR fans know the truth. Nothing beats being there. This is your chance to experience NASCAR Winston Cup racing. Live and in person on Sunday, April 29th. The Napa Auto Parts 500 weekend at California Speedway. Call 1-800-944-RACE for tickets. 1-800-944-RACE. California Speedway. Live the race.
Americans love power. And they love their high-performance Briggs & Stratton engines. That's why just about every neighborhood in America is a Briggs & Stratton neighborhood. Briggs & Stratton. The power that works for you.
Wendy's announces our honey ham and chicken sandwich is back with its whole breast filet, creamy Dijon, and honey ham. And you can thank Dave if you ever see him again. Wendy's honey ham and chicken. It's all the buzz.
Oh, Becky, look. Wow. There's the Big Dipper. And there's Orion.
Daddy?
Uh-huh.
Who turns off the stars at night?
Nobody. They're on all night.
So how come we never see them from home?
Discover the world through a new set of eyes. Go RVing. Visit an RV dealer or call for a free video.
A chunky Super Bowl moment. Kurt Warner's mom filled him up right with Campbell's chunky New England clam chowder. Now heartier than ever with bigger chunks of clams. Never did a clam do so much for a ram.
Introducing the John Deere SST lawn tractor with spin steer technology. A technology so advanced, it actually cuts time.
NASCAR on FX welcomes you to Atlanta Motor Speedway for what could well be the fastest NASCAR Busch race of the year, and is certainly the longest, the Aaron's 312 from Atlanta Motor Speedway. A tie atop the point standings, but Todd Bodine there in 5th place is the man with a hot hand. 2 straight wins. Kevin Harvick and defending champ Jeff Green tie up at the top of the list. Let's go down to pit road and meet one of those co-point leaders. Here's Matt Yoakum.
Mike, Kevin Harvick will start the Blue Deuce from the 2nd position. 1 year ago, the 25-year-old finished 34th in this event. Kevin, how do you plan to manage your race to be there at the finish today?
Well, I think we got a lot more experience and a lot better car than we did last year, and I think that's the whole key to this place is knowing how to drive it and figuring out what you need to know. So we've got a year on that, and we don't need to wreck by any means. So we're going to try and stay out of trouble and just get a good solid finish.
Harvick is first in points, but there's a rookie first on the grid. Steve Burns?
You got that right, Matt Yoakum. Ryan Newman is a 23-year-old engineering student at Purdue, just his 2nd career Busch start. He's going out first. Ryan, you're starting first. Can you finish first?
I hope so. We have definitely the fastest car here. There's no excuses about that. Just look forward to a safe race. This place is really fast. Got the points leader starting beside me here, and just try to use our head and stay out of trouble, and hopefully we'll be there at the end.
All right, good luck. Let's go to Mike Joy.
Thank you, Steve. 2 rookies in the front 2 rows as you look at Ryan Newman and at this 43-car field on a sunny but rather chilly day here 30 miles south of Atlanta. Let's go trackside for today's opening ceremonies.
Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Father, we come before you on a beautiful Saturday at Atlanta Motor Speedway, thanking you for the opportunity to come here and to lift your son up. Praying for each one of these drivers, for their crews, for the fans. Father, I pray that you protect them today from injury. Be with us now. Lead, guide, and direct us. Forgive us when we fail you so many times. For it's in your son's name that we pray. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Please welcome back the United States Army Ground Forces Band for the playing of our national anthem. How about a big round of applause for the 4 T-38 Talons from Columbus Air Force Base. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for those famous words in motorsports.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
43 cars have fired and are at the ready for what could well be the fastest NASCAR Busch race of this season. No restrictor plates, a lot of horsepower, new horsepower this year for these NASCAR Busch Series drivers, and a new challenge. Hi, everyone. Mike Joy with Larry McReynolds and Darrell Waltrip. And Darrell, there's a lot of power under that right foot here.
26 guys, 26 drivers broke the old track record. And the track record was broken by 6 miles an hour. So really what we've got here today is truly a mini Winston Cup race. These cars are within just a few hundredths of a second being as fast as tomorrow's cars, the Winston Cup cars. So I'm excited to see what it's going to be like out here today. We'll get a real preview for what we're going to see tomorrow.
And where the extra speed comes with extra horsepower is at the end of the straightaway, getting into the corner. And these guys have really struggled with the setup. And if that isn't enough problem, the sun's out today. They practiced in overcast and cloudy yesterday. They're going to be entering these corners at over 180 miles an hour, sliding around, door handle to door handle. It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be fun to watch.
The pole sitter for this race would have qualified 6th for tomorrow's Winston Cup event, and there's not a single prior winner in the field. So if you have no particular place to go, get ready for some fast racing.
Riding along in my automobile, my baby beside me at the wheel. I stole a kiss at the turn of a mile, my curiosity running wild, cruising and playing the radio with no particular place to go.
NASCAR on FX is brought to you by Aaron's, by Wendy's, and by Pet Boys. Cars like us, people love us.
Secure, reliable connections. Blazing fast logon times. When you're looking to get the most out of the internet, no one knows their way around the World Wide Web like AT&T WorldNet service.
Thinking of you. Love always. Jessica.
They're beautiful.
They smell so nice.
You're a lucky man.
The Whopper says, nothing says I love you like flame-broiled beef.
Do you mind if I call her?
In the land of burgers, the flame-broiled Whopper is king.
Ooh, nice.
If you've got a business to run, Staples has everything you need at guaranteed low prices.
Uh-huh. We got to get that contract signed.
Sir, did you order the Kung Pao chicken?
Yeah, it's going to be a long night.
Get the HP 45A Inkjet 2-pack for $48.98. Unbeatable prices. Staples, yeah, we've got that.
FX is getting you revved up for all-new Son of the Beach. Monday, the night before the season premiere. Catch 8 episodes back-to-back.
Lord have mercy.
And during the night, you'll hear the Son of the Beach cast tell the real story about what goes on behind the scenes.
I don't really swim.
It was actually kind of fun being handcuffed to each other.
Plus, get a sneak peek of what's coming up in the brand new season. Son of the Beach Marathon, Monday night at 8 on FX.
Later today, NASCAR on FX continues with Winston Cup final practice, immediately following our telecast of the Aaron's 312. And tomorrow, NASCAR This Morning gets us started on Fox Sports Net at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll have the NASCAR Winston Cup race presented by UPS on Fox at 12:30 Eastern. And NASCAR Victory Lane wraps it all up at 9 p.m. your local time on the net. Todd Bodine is the man everyone wants to beat. He started the season with a one-race deal and then went to Victory Lane at Rockingham. And then came up 7s at Las Vegas and again went to Victory Lane. Today, Todd Bodine seeks his 3rd win in a row in a race that he wasn't even supposed to compete in. His car owner, Buckshot Jones, was supposed to drive that car today, and he said, long as Todd keeps rolling those 7s, he's our driver. Here's the starting lineup for today's Aaron's 312 on FX. Ryan Newman, the rookie on the pole. Kevin Harvick, runner-up, Daytona and Rockingham alongside. Row 2, 92 Series champ Joe Nemechek, and Scott Wimmer, 25-year-old rookie with his best career start, Dick Berggren.
He's making just his 7th career start, but don't let that fool you. This kid's got all the right stuff. He's driving for Bill Davis. Last fall here at this racetrack, he dazzled everybody in a Winston Cup car, of all things. Wimmer, he's strong enough to win it, even though he's a rookie.
Row 3, as you look at Scott Wimmer, Greg Biffle, 2nd at Vegas, 3rd at the Rock, and Tony Raines, 4th in Vegas. Then Mike McLaughlin and Ashton Lewis Jr. from Virginia. Michael Waltrip and Jeff Purvis, veterans in the 5th row. Todd Bodine is in row 6, looking for his 3rd win in a row, next to Martin Green. Jamie McMurray and Chad Little, row 7. Row 8, Tim Sauter with P.J. Jones, Bobby Hamilton Jr. and Matt Kenseth, Marty Houston, Kevin LePage back in the series. Row 11, Jeff Green, defending champion and co-point leader with Randy LaJoy, Chad Chaffin and Elton Sawyer. And then Jimmy Johnson, who is 5th at Daytona, along with Jay Sauter in row 13, Jeannie Zelasco.
Well, with a name like Jimmy Johnson, you can expect the football comparisons. And the crew chief of the Not 2 car told me this team is like the Baltimore Ravens. They are ragtag. They are scrappy. Well, the Ravens found some success. What about Jimmy? Well, they changed 3 springs this morning at a track bar adjustment, so I guess we'll find out, Mike.
Back at row 14, Kelly Denton and Jason Keller, then David Green, the 94 Series champ with Hank Parker Jr., Blaze Alexander and Larry Foyt. Mike Dillon in row 17 with Kenny Wallace, Tim Fedowa and Kevin Grubb in the 18th row, Rich Bickle, Shane Hall, Brad Baker and David Starr, along with Carl Long making his first Busch start, Christian Elder from out of the Dash Series, and Brad Teague, 53 years old, driving for Jimmy Means on a one-race deal, picks up the final spot in this 43-car field. It's the longest race of the season, 312.6 miles to complete 203 laps. 60 to 65 laps the pit window for these 43 cars. And we'll turn to the Willard Scott of Winston Cup, Larry McReynolds, for today's forecast.
Well, we talked about it in the opening. The big difference right here is going to be these two right here. Not so much the air temperature. It's pretty cool at 49 degrees, but the sun's out. It's got the track temperature up some 20-something degrees from practice yesterday.
Cool but dry. And today we're going to ride along with 4 of these NASCAR Busch Series cars. Kenny Wallace has our Briggs & Stratton camera starting 34th. Matt Kenseth has the Visine camera giving us a clear view from car 17. He starts 18th. Jeff Purvis going to go to the drive-in teller with the MBNA camera from the 10th position, car number 18. And Michael Waltrip has for this weekend rented an Aaron's Rents onboard camera. He rolls from the 9th starting spot. Kenny Wallace did not make it to the driver's meeting. He will drop to the tail end of the field, as will Carl Long, for the same reason.
I mean, they have the same format each week. The driver's meeting is 2 hours before the start of the race, and you've got to be there for the whole meeting. If not, you drop to the rear of the field.
Hey, you might expect Kenny Wallace, you know, he was in Cup practice, so maybe that had something to do with him being late. Carl Long, he might just not have wanted to start it up there. He might want to be in the back anyway.
They've given us an extra pace lap to get everything up to temperature on a cool day. There's not a former winner in this race. Who do you like?
It's hard to believe, but who you like, Larry? I'll let you go first.
Well, I talked to Joe Nemechek this morning. He says if the sun stays out, we test it down here in the sun, I'm going to whip up on them pretty good.
Yeah, I think I'd have to go. I like Biffle kind of like for a long shot because of the car he's driving. But I like my brother because of the experience he has. I like all the Cup drivers in this race because if you look at the field, they got the most experience, and they were on the racetrack this morning. So they may know something about the track these other cats don't know. That could be a big advantage.
Yeah, my odds-on pick for the same reason is Joe Nemechek. You know, he's won here. He's got a lot of experience here. But the fella right next to him, Scott Wimmer, is going to be a guy to watch.
The guy to watch is the 02 car, Ryan Newman on the pole. Running fast in qualifying is one thing. They was not happy with that race car. We're fixing to go racing. They changed 4 springs and both sway bars in that thing this morning.
The longest race of the year at the fastest track in NASCAR. Now Atlanta Motor Speedway unrestricted. Here we go. Green flag world racing. Scott Wimmer did not come up to speed, and he's dropped back about 3 rows. Side by side up front.
Picking up a lot of speed as they come off too and start down that long back straightaway there. Long quarter mile. Not very long.
They're going to fight to see who leads this first lap and picks up 5 points. Harvick outside, Newman inside. Newman by a foot.
Well, this track is conducive to side-by-side racing, but normally you run a little longer than this before you...
Boy, look at Kevin Harvick getting a little bit loose up there. He's up in that second.
Oh, got a car spinning out back here in turn 2.
A long looping spin down to the track apron. Larry Foyt is the driver, and caution is out. Who'll lead the second lap? Biffle.
No, that's Nemechek.
Excuse me, Nemechek.
He comes flying up. He got them 3 wide off a 2-0 there and took the lead.
So caution out at lap 2 for Larry Foyt's spin down in turn 2.
I was looking over that way. I think he just spun the car out, and that's probably a product of some of that track conditions being a little different than what he had yesterday.
Now you'll see Foyt come into the picture here.
Yeah, he's pretty much all by his, I don't believe he got any contact from anybody. I believe he just lost the car.
I said spin, Darrell, but did he actually spin it?
Well, about a half a spin.
It looks like he just lost it on his own right there. And you know, he's up in that second groove. We just had seen Kevin Harvick in the 2 car. Right now, that second groove, it don't have a lot of rubber in it. Maybe don't have the grip at the bottom of the racetrack has.
Yeah, if you're just a little bit loose, you're going to spin out.
Kenny Wallace.
Oh, go to the bottom and stay.
Kenny Wallace takes evasive action. We're under the first caution of the day. You're watching NASCAR on FX.
Hi, I'm Ken Butler, president of Aaron's Sales and Lease Ownership, proud sponsor of the Aaron's 312.
It's the Busch Series race with the drama of 12 extra miles.
Ah, but here's why the race is called the Aaron's 312.
Because of the 3 great reasons to get the products you dream about from Aaron's.
1, everyone is pre-approved.
2, everyone gets the guaranteed lowest price.
And 3, Aaron's 12-month lease ownership.
Get it?
The Aaron's 312. Aaron's 312 is for everyone, everywhere.
So let Aaron's drive your dreams home.
A chunky Super Bowl moment. Kurt Warner's mom filled him up right with Campbell's Chunky New England Clam Chowder. Now heartier than ever with bigger chunks of clams. Never did a clam do so much for a ram.
If you can't stop here, stop here for 25% off the regular price of Midas VSD brake pads and shoes. They've got a lifetime guarantee, and they're the best we've ever offered. They're quieter, they stop faster, and last longer. And if they wear out, we'll provide you with new ones at no charge for as long as you own your car. So for 25% off VSD brakes, go Midas.
Your car never nags. It never complains about how much time you spend with the guys. It thinks a little gas is a good thing. Here's to the perfect relationship.
It's here, McDonald's next big thing, the new Big and Tasty. Now just 99 cents to celebrate the opening of Disney's California Adventure, Disney's newest theme park, right next door to Disneyland in California. So, how does a 99-cent Big and Tasty sound?
Tuesday, Notch is in Hawaii looking for action.
Ladies erupted.
Adult comedy for the teen and all of us. The season premiere of Son of the Beach, Tuesday at 10 on FX.
Welcome back to the Aaron's 312 on FX. We're under caution now at 4 laps, about to go back to green. Let's show you what happened on the start to Scott Wimmer, who started outside of row number 2.
Yeah, you got a rookie driver. He's kind of anxious, and here they come down to get the flag. Remember, we talked about more power than they've had in the past. Stands on that thing. See him wobble right there? That's just from cold tires. Maybe he should have cleaned them off, heated them up a little bit, Larry. Crew chiefs are always honking at us. Clean them up, heat them up, let's go. And they spun the tires, and it cost him some positions on the start there.
And we do note that the top 10 qualifiers have to start the race on the tires they qualified on. That's a NASCAR rule.
Yeah, he probably should have worked them in just a little bit more.
So Wimmer is now 6th.
He'll learn that.
Nemechek the leader. Ryan Newman the pole sitter. Kevin Harvick, Greg Biffle, Mike McLaughlin, Scott Wimmer, Tony Raines, Todd Bodine, the front 8, and we're back under green.
Single file restart. Nobody's run a lap down yet.
Here comes Harvick.
He and Newman want to race each other real fast. That outside line looks like it's going pretty good this time. Got a little momentum off of 2 over there, and here comes Biffle right with him. I think Newman will probably be a little more cautious today than maybe he's been in the past, because had a little bit of a rough go of it at Rockingham. A lot of people upset with him. Besides that, these guys know this is a long race, so they got plenty of time to work their way to the front or pass another guy back whenever they need to.
Todd Bodine in 8th, that 00 car. A little bump with Tony Raines.
Whoa, come on, baby, don't do that now. He did. He knocked the sheet metal loose on the back of that baby.
And what I get aggravated with, Darrell, it's not that Tony Raines in 33 that he's messing with right there. If he caves the front end on with that 00 car, it messes the front downforce up on that car, so he could mess himself up as much as anybody.
Oh yeah, you really shouldn't be doing that right now.
Jamie McMurray and Michael Waltrip, the 99 coming. Waltrip, though, cannot clear Raines. And they're back in 1. Let's ride with Mikey.
Going to get the position going down into 3, I believe.
That car just ahead, though, I think that's Scott Wimmer, who's dropped a couple of spots since the restart.
Tony Raines in the 33 car starting to really backslide there.
I think that's why Todd was such a hurry to get by him. His car isn't working that well, and I guess Todd was afraid he was going to hold him up.
Here comes the other point leader, that yellow number 10 of Jeff Green.
And when you talk about him, hard to believe the type of seasons that he has had to pass. He has never finished better than 11th here at Atlanta and has never led a lap.
That may change today. He has a look inside Tim Sauter. And you ride with Matt Kenseth right behind them.
Well, right now everybody's just sorting their cars out a little bit. We always talk about the tires being a little low on pressure. I heard as much as 18 pounds of buildup on long runs this morning in happy hours. So that tells you got to start the tires down a little lower than you'd like to, so they'll be about right when you get into your runs.
Kenseth now battling Tim Sauter and clears him going into turn 3.
And obviously Sauter knew that Kenseth was there. He moved up and let him get under him and backed out a little early and let Kenseth have the line. I got trouble off the corner here, guys.
One car spin going around toward the infield, back on the racetrack, and everybody bunches up and gets by okay.
Wow. That was a great job of saving the car after it went around, as well as not getting into anybody. He held the brakes just right. He held the brakes. He brought her around, and when it was time, he released the brakes, and he drove away.
Brad Teague has taken Jimmy Means' car to the garage as Randy LaJoie has a wild ride.
Well, we've seen 2 spinouts here early on, and with no harm done so far, both of them made pretty good saves.
This is quite a save LaJoie makes here. Watching the lower left.
Yeah, he was up alongside of P.J. Jones there, and I think it just kind of pulled him around, Larry. Somebody probably a little loose off before there, and it just pulled him around. But now watch this great job of hanging on, and right when he needs to let the brake off, release the brake, forward he goes.
Ooh, that was close. Blaze Alexander in the 8 car.
Yeah, he had to get down to the inside. Look at all the traffic behind him that's about to stack up here.
Whew. Wasn't sure whether to go low or high. That was close.
It was.
Second caution of the day. The first for Larry Foyt, the second for Randy LaJoie. Joe Nemechek remains our leader. You're watching the NASCAR Busch Series on FX.
Get inside the non-stop action on race weekend. Get inside the news and highlights. Get inside the teams, fans, and games. Only at the official site of NASCAR. NASCAR.com. America Online keyword.
There are lots of ways to equip a car. And right now, when you buy a new 2001 Chevy Cavalier, we'll give you $2,500 cash back. So you can equip your Cavalier any way you like.
Bonus.
The $2,500 Chevy Cavalier bonus. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details. And see your Sunco Chevy dealer before it ends April 2nd.
Have fun.
Hi, kids.
Hi, Mrs. Flynn.
Come on in.
The Lightning hosts Columbus Saturday, March 10th on Family Night. The first 5,000 kids get a Lightning lunchbox. Call 813-301-6600.
My favorite thing about playing music is
I feel that I'm special.
You get to express yourself.
I like to be happy.
Just let yourself go.
You learn a lot of things.
concentration.
It helped me in fractions. It makes your brain think. I'm doing better in math.
When I get my notes right, I feel excellent.
Public school music programs need your support. Help Time Warner Communications and VH1 save the music. Call 1-888-VH1-4-MUSIC.
The Lumberjack battles the bad boy. All hell's gonna break loose. And All New Tough Man 2001, Friday at 10 on FX.
The If you have your favorite driver's car number in the back window of your car or pickup, you might want to watch Totally NASCAR, where Steve Burns gives you all the news of your favorite sport, weeknights at 6 on Fox Sports Net. Getting set to go back to green. For more on our race leader, Joe Nemechek, Dick Berggren.
If you've been around this sport for a while, you've seen Martha Nemechek, the mother of Joe Nemechek, who right now is in the lead of this race. Martha's not here today, but Joe has a very special reason to want to win the race for Mom, who's home in Charlotte, keeping an eye on it. Today is Martha's birthday. Happy birthday, Martha Nemechek. To Steve.
Well, Dick, Tony Raines has brought the number 33 car to pit road, talked to the crew. They said that the 00 of Todd Bodine got into the side of him. They had to pull some sheet metal away. They took the opportunity to pull a spring rubber out of the right rear. That's the story on Tony Raines.
10 cars pitted, including Jason Keller, Rich Bickle, Kenny Wallace, and Randy LaJoie.
I think that spring rubber is probably why I think that car was real loose, and he wasn't able to get up off the corner. He should be a lot better now.
Green flag at 14 laps complete.
Pretty much all the leaders stayed out that time, did not pit. The tire rule today is under caution. NASCAR has only allowed these teams 3 sets of tires to change under caution.
Some of the cars at the back of the field ducked in, and most of them just topped up, so they have a little advantage if this thing goes green for a long time, which I don't think it will.
We don't expect that,
I don't
do
think
we?
that'll happen.
You know, we look at Joe Nemechek in the 87 car. Even though we talked at the opening about we have no former winner in today's race, he's the only driver that has competed in all 9 races here, but it has not been good to him. He has had 4 DNFs.
This car sure looks pretty awesome right now, Larry. That thing is right down on the ground. It's running right around the bottom of the racetrack, and he's pulling away.
Here comes Todd Bodine working underneath Mike McLaughlin. That's for 5th place.
Yeah, he started 11th. He's already up to 5th, so obviously he's still got the combination.
27, Jamie McMurray, battling 99, Michael Waltrip.
Bobby Hamilton Jr. right there, the 26 car, the red car right behind Michael.
Michael's going up on the high side, going around McMurray there.
Why did I not know he would be the first one to start working that high groove?
Him and Jeff Purvis, you watch, they'll both be right up there. And they both got cameras in their cars, too.
And Hamilton's coming with him. Taking a little more time, they're battling with McMurray. Steve Burns?
Just spoke to Bobby Kennedy, the crew chief for Michael Waltrip, and he said they're waiting to get some green flag laps so they can get some air pressure up. And I understand we have trouble.
Turn 4, a car has apparently cut down a tire and spun. That's the number 16 of David Starr.
Yeah, the tire's rolling down the racetrack. There you go.
That's the actual tread of the tire.
And boy, that's a dreaded thing to see for all the now everybody's going to
tread and belt of the tire.
It is, and now everybody's going to be running around in the pits wanting to know what happened and why that happened. Is that something we're going to have to look at all day long here?
Third caution of the day comes out of lap 18. Now, he had just pitted on lap 12 during that last caution.
Yeah, some of the guys at the back of the field did, and I'm not sure if they took tires or not. I think that most of them just topped up.
But normally when you have a tire tear up like that, it would be a lot later in a run than what we've run here. We've run 18 laps, but about half those laps has been under caution.
But we've got a different tire than we've had here in the past, and so it's always a concern when there haven't been any long green flag runs made. Everybody's going to want to know what happened to that tire.
Well, his pits will be a very busy place here.
Yes, sir.
So David Starr, who hails from Justin, Texas, just about 10 miles from Texas Motor Speedway, gets back on track.
That's odd to see that like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like the tread came off of the casing.
We'll pick up a little bit of debris here. What about the leaders, Larry?
I'm going to stay out. I've only run me about 8 or 9 laps, so I'm going to stay out.
I'm with you, Larry. I ain't coming in. My radio ain't working too good right now.
Pits are open if anybody wishes to stop. That flagman is at the inside of turn number 4. The leaders stay out, so we will take a pit stop here on FX. Joe Nemechek leads Kevin Harvick, Greg Biffle, Ryan Newman, and Todd Bodine. This is NASCAR on FX.
A terrible tragedy. A naked cover-up. James Caan. This goes way beyond his loyalty. A glimpse of hell. Premieres Sunday, March 18th at 8.
No matter what your business, if you need to move it, clean it, cater it. Build it up or tear it down. You can use labor-ready temporary labor. Just call 1-800-24-LABOR or order online at laborready.com and you'll get all the help you need. You can find good help these days. Labor Ready. Dependable temporary labor.
Where does courage begin? In the body, the mind, or in the heart? At American General Financial Group, we're here to help the ones who never give up their dreams. With retirement services, investments, life insurance, and consumer loans. So courage is crowned with the greatest victory. To live and be well and be happy. American General Financial Group. Live the life you've imagined.
You like it fast? Get to your Goodyear retailer, where right now you'll get a $50 fast credit when you buy 4 selected tires on your Goodyear card account. That's $50 you'll save right on the spot. Qualifying tires include selected Goodyear Eagles, Goodyear Wranglers, and the new AquaTread 3. The $50 fast credit offer, only from Goodyear. For complete details from the retailer nearest you, call 1-800-GOODYEAR.
Trucks. Fundamentally tougher than any panty-waist car. Hey, no one ever wrote a song about his first hatchback. At Craftsman, we figured the only thing better than trucks is racing trucks. So we're the official tools of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Tough trucks, tougher drivers, and the toughest tools. Craftsman.
We're just finishing up the third caution of the day. All single car spins. This one, David Starr lost a tread off his tire up in turn number 3 without further incident. Put us under caution for the third time today. Larry Foyt and Randy LaJoie have also brought out the caution flag.
David Starr's problems continued because when he come on the pit road to get that tire changed, he was out of his pit box. NASCAR holds you 1 lap for doing the pit performance out of the pit box.
And there's Starr at the tail end of this field as we get set to go back under green to begin lap 22. Joe Nemechek still your leader. None of these leaders pitted. Harvick, Biffle, Newman, Bodine, McLaughlin. Here we go. It seems on each of these restarts, Harvick is able to hang just a little closer to Nemechek each time.
Yeah, he does on the restarts, but Joe kind of stretches it out after a couple laps. And you know, when you on those restarts, when you're way back in line, you have to anticipate the flag coming out, and that anticipation in the spotter sometime will get you in trouble. So we always have to be real cautious when we come down to take the green flag. You want to get a good jump, but you don't want to run into the back guy in front of you.
99, Michael Waltrip moves up to 6th, passing Mike McLaughlin. Car ahead of him is Todd Bodine.
I think that the guys that were out there this morning, like Todd and Michael and some of the Winston Cup guys, should have a slight advantage on these cats because they were on the track this morning with the sun out. Some of these guys were on the track yesterday last time, cloudy and overcast.
Let's go back to Steve to finish up that story on Michael Waltrip.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Michael Waltrip, his radio crew chief Bobby Kennedy, had said that 99 car is pretty good, but because, as Larry McReynolds mentioned, they've only run a handful of laps under green, they want those tire temperatures, the tire pressures, rather, to come up, and that car will really be fast when that happens.
Jeff Green, number 10, moving up on Scott Wimmer. Now, on the restart, Green was so low entering turn 1, it looked like he was headed for the camper lot in the infield. Got it back up on track, but Jeff Green is trying to get that thing to the front in a hurry. Let's go to Jeannie for more on what happened to David Starr.
Well, guys, that's the question they're asking down here because it is still a mystery in the pit. They keep looking at the tire. They said there was no pressure problem. He was complaining that the car was a little loose, but they don't know. But they're happy that he's back out there now with 4 fresh tires.
Jeff Green, the number 10, the co-point leader, defending champion, battling Ashton Lewis. That was back in 12. Up front here, Joe Nemechek leading Kevin Harvick and Greg Biffle.
Well, these cars, Darrell, I mean, they're right around that white line, right around the bottom, right where they should be running, knowing them cars must be driving awfully good right here.
Yeah, Michael just passed Todd on the outside over here. That was a pretty bold move, and he looks like he's going moving on up through the field here. He's up to 4th place. Todd saw that, and he immediately went to the high side. So that's going to be the groove of choice, I believe, before the race gets pretty far along.
Todd Bodine and the Buckshot Jones team have picked up a one-race sponsorship for here in Atlanta. Still looking for something to run that car all season long.
Just a quick update. We had talked about Brad Teague going to the garage area. They're out for today with transmission problems.
First and only car out of the race. The 3 spins that produced the 3 caution flags, all those drivers have returned to the racetrack.
Getting strung out pretty good now. We got 3 or 4 cars up near the front pretty fast. Got a pretty tight pack back in here, kind of jockeying for position, but looks like everybody's settled in now.
Single file back through the first half of the pack. So we'll go all the way back to the 28th place battle.
That's the 33 car there, right there, that had to come in because of that sheet metal damage that he and Todd Bodine experienced early in the race. And he's been struggling with that car. I think it still must be loose.
Once again, another race car here, another driver, another team working without their crew chief after they had lead or tungsten come out of their car at Daytona on the pit road. The lead fell out of the car. They suspended that crew chief for 2 weeks starting with this weekend here at Atlanta.
Matt Kenseth on the move, pulling up on McLaughlin.
I've been watching him, Darrell. You saw it right there. I mean, he's almost running below that white line. He's been passing all these cars. Watch him when he goes into the corner right here. He gets almost below the white line there. Look at there. Left side tire's right on that white line.
You know what? That left side tire really likes that white line. You get down on it, and it'll actually hook up better than it will on the asphalt.
Seen all that happen.
Michael Waltrip for 2nd place on Kevin Harvick.
He likes that high groove. He's got the thing up there right on the edge of the gray. He runs this track that way, and right now it's paying off for him. We saw him do it at Rockingham. Early in the race, it was the way to go, but later on in the day, he couldn't get his car to go to the bottom like some of the others did.
Kevin Harvick drops from 2nd to 3rd. Dick Berggren.
His crew has been in Harvick's ear telling him to keep an eye on number 99, Michael Waltrip. They first told him he's running the high groove and gaining on you. The next lap, Harvick got passed by the number 99, Michael Waltrip, and now they've told him keep an eye on him. He runs that groove very well. Might be a good groove for you to run tomorrow in the Winston Cup race. Let's go to Matt.
Dick, last week at Las Vegas, the crew chief on the 2 car, Todd Barrier, was found to be using an air tank to try to expand the fuel cell so they could try to get a little more fuel in it. He was given a 2-week suspension by NASCAR officials. So he is not here today. It's crew chief by committee. Kevin Hamlin, Kevin Harvick's Winston Cup crew chief is in the pit, as well as Richard Childress and Will Lynn, the team manager. Todd is not here inside the racetrack, but rumor has it he's up in a suite with a radio listening. But Richard Childress told me it has affected this team. The chemistry is not the same.
Michael's running about 4/10 quicker than Nemechek, and it's 2 distinctively different lines, Larry. Nemechek's hooking the left wheels on the white line, and Michael's up around the gray stuff. So that's what we wanted to see here was 2 good grooves.
And you got to believe Joe Nemechek's spotter's saying, hey, the 99's coming, and he's running a high groove, and I'm sure Joe's looking back, and he's going to pass him here in about another 4th of a lap.
99 isn't coming, Joe. He's there, and he's going to go by you.
Michael Waltrip for the lead. This is not the Michael Waltrip of 1 year ago. That was a driver who'd come to the racetrack and say, you know, I think we can run real good today.
Yeah.
This Michael Waltrip says, I know we can run well today, and we're going to contend for the win.
Yeah, I like what he told me yesterday, Larry. He said, don't worry about me. I'm just hitting my stride. And I told him, I said, that's good to know, but don't peak too early.
No. This is the first Busch race that Michael Waltrip has led since last September at Darlington. Carl Long has taken his car to the garage area, joining Brad Teague, the only 2 retirees early in this race. We'll be right back on FX.
fountains of Busch beer. Proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series.
I can get,
More masking tape.
more concrete.
More plaster.
More of these.
I need more tools.
More lawn.
More of this.
Hey, neighbor!
More of that. Maybe I can get 3 more feet.
I need a lot more tools. When I go to Home Depot, I can save money. Nuts. And I can get more stuff.
A lot more than I would have expected.
That's what I'm talking about.
This is why I go to Home Depot first.
The Home Depot, first in home improvement.
Remember your first kiss? Your first slow dance? Your first test drive? Get that feeling back at Pep Boys, where new 35,000-mile tires are just $4 for $99. Fall in love with your car again at Pep Boys. Tempting, flirtatious, seductive. And that's just the fender. It's that time of year at Pep Boys, where you can save over $90 on these great car care products. Fall in love with your car again at Pep Boys.
AT&T's broadband technology delivers over 100 channels with thousands of hours of programming, featuring an enormous selection of movies directly into millions of homes every day. You want a little butter with that?
The action, the heart, the soul of NASCAR, every day. Only at NASCAR.com. America Online keyword, NASCAR.
Welcome back to the Aaron's 312 in Atlanta, the longest and maybe the fastest Busch Series race of the entire 2001 season. Michael Waltrip has gone to the lead. Greg Biffle has taken over second place as Joe Nemechek has backslid a bit. And now third place changes hands as Todd Bodine has moved past Biffle. So a lot of changing going on right here as there's your leader, Michael Waltrip, and there is Todd Bodine, who has passed Greg Biffle for second place. Biffle's one of those men on the move in this race. You see him just ahead of Nemechek, who he passed 2 laps ago.
Just looking at the lap times, Biffle and Michael, they're running pretty similar lap times, 31.2, 31.4. But Nemechek and Todd and him have backed up into the 32-second range. So those guys are slowing down, and some of these other guys are maintaining a pretty fast pace right now.
Biffle in third.
But there will be a limit here before too long, because it can only go so high, Larry. I mean, you know, sooner or later they got to taper off somewhere, because they're going to run out of racetrack.
You saw Bodine, and here's your leader, Michael Waltrip. Let's go down high above victory lane. Jeff Hammond.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. I had a conversation with Bobby Kennedy this morning also. And the thing was so funny about Bobby, when they were at the drivers' meeting this morning, they were talking about how good their car was working down around the bottom. And Michael asked Bobby, what gear have we got inside the car? And Bobby said, such and such. He says, what's going to happen when I take it upstairs? I'm going to really wring this thing out. And what he was telling Bobby was he had already had plans, even though the car had been working good in practice down low. He was going to take his car upstairs today and get up around the racetrack. And Bobby was saying earlier that no matter what happened, no matter what he did to the race car, Michael was going to run the top side today. The one concern that they were worried about was the left side tire wear. Their car had been wearing the left side tires out running down low, so therefore they were happy to get up the top group.
Just to follow up this a little bit, Mike, when they toughen up the right side tires, when they make those tires a little harder, it makes the left side tires have to work even harder again, because the less grip on the right just puts more pressure on the left.
Now Kevin Harvick has gone past Joe Nemechek, kicking Nemechek back to 5th. Dick Berggren.
The problem is the right rear tire on that car. Early on in the event, Nemechek called his crew chief, Brian Patty, and told him that the car feels as if it wants to jump out from underneath him. That is a very frightening feeling here in Atlanta. More recently, Patty told him, take care of the right rear. There was a pause, and then Nemechek came back and said, I can't feel the right rear. So they're going to try and take care of it, take it easy on the car a little bit, pull the spring rubber out when he comes into pit. But that's the problem. It's loose. You don't want to be loose here. Virginia Zelasco.
Boy, Dick, speaking of frightening, Carl Long was a little frightened, so that's why he got off the track. He said they didn't get a lot of track time this week out here. He missed happy hour because they were working on the car, so they had to guess on the springs. Guess guess what? They guessed wrong. It was a handling problem. Carl told me if he didn't get off the track, he would have been a wreck, literally. Guys?
Michael Waltrip getting into race traffic. There's his last lap speed. Had to pedal it a bit because of that traffic double wide in front of him.
Oh, yeah, he went around Randy LaJoie, who spun there a little bit ago, and put him a lap down. But, man, he was forcing the issue off turn 4 there. But that spring rubber deal, yesterday it's overcast. These cats put them rubbers and make them turn yesterday. Now they're turning too good today.
We see Todd Bodine's the fastest, but again, Michael Waltrip, who's not even in the top 5 on speed, we got to remember he's working out traffic right now.
He's in heavy traffic, and him and Todd have been pretty much the same speed around the racetrack in clear traffic.
Well, he's busted through that pack of traffic as the second place car just hasn't quite gotten to it. There's a look at Todd in second place, 4.5 seconds behind Michael Waltrip. Todd Bodine started the season on a race-to-race deal to drive this car, and after Daytona, won and kept on winning.
And about 2 weeks ago, Buckshot Jones actually tested that car here, was going to drive it at Atlanta. Heck, they're 5th in points. They've won 2 races in a row. There's no question in my mind. And we go to Darlington next week. Todd Bodine runs good at Darlington as well.
He's got 2 things working for him. He's got the momentum of what's happening with that team, and they obviously have good chemistry.
Yes.
They're working well together. How you can't change now. You got to ride that horse to the end.
But Billy Jones built this team for his son Buckshot to drive, and now they're putting their money into another horse, but they're winning, and winning is what it's all about. Michael Waltrip leads Todd Bodine in the Aaron's 312. There's a look through your top 10. We'll be right back with more NASCAR on FX.
Hey, Notch, why is it called a pit stop?
Haven't you ever had a lube job?
No, I'm a virgin.
Son of the Beach premieres Tuesday at 10, only on FX.
From all the race fans at Aaron's Sales and Lease Ownership, a first series race with the drama of 12 extra miles.
12 extra miles?
It's called the Aaron's 312.
What kind of idiot approved 12 extra miles?
Ken Butler.
Hey, what about pit strategy? What about tires? What about fuel? What about you two? Who are you?
We're the Aaron's 312 girl. Ken approved us, too.
The Aaron's 312 at Atlanta Motor Speedway, March 10th on FX.
Like I said, I like the way this Butler guy thinks.
4 identical cars. 4 identical engines. Only one running on new Haviland, our latest triumph in Haviland motor oil technology. And what difference does that make? Not only do you get unsurpassed performance, but tests show that with new Haviland under the hood, you get better gas mileage. Haviland. Add more life to your car.
Over the past 10 years, we've sold over 23 tons of Metrex drink mix, developed by a physician and powered by metamycin protein, engineered and scientifically proven to deliver results. Athletes from every corner of the world have discovered Metrex as the nutritional edge they need to be the best. Just imagine what it can do for you. Metrex, for the best shape of your life.
Right now, save 20% on all Metrex sports products, only at GNC.
You ready, guys? This could be the ride of your life. You gotta get past the myths and the excuses. Erectile difficulty is a common problem. Effective treatment is available. Talk to your doctor. You might be surprised how easily you can get through it.
Welcome back to Atlanta. No change among the front 3 in the Aaron's 312. Mark Green has taken his Davis and Waite Motorsports Ford behind the wall where the hood's up, and they're working on it. Michael Waltrip coming into another big pack of lap traffic.
Well, as fast as he's running compared to the other guys, he and Todd are running in the 31-second bracket, 31.5 roughly. Everybody else is up in the 32.5-second bracket, so they got about a second on these cats a lap.
Today's Pep Boys trivia. 2 drivers won their first career Busch Series race at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Who are they? I'll give you a hint. They're both Winston Cup drivers, and one's a champion.
I ain't got a clue.
It's one of them.
Jeff Gordon, 1992, and Mike Skinner 2 years ago won their first Busch Series races here at Atlanta. Here comes Bobby Hamilton Jr. starting out like a house of fire, going past Joe Nemechek.
He's up to 6th place there, and that car's running pretty well too.
Scott Wimmer making a pit stop. Matt?
23 car already has come to a halt in his pit box. He was complaining about his car was very, very, very tight. Bill Davis said they were going to make a chassis adjustment. You did see the wedge wrench go in the back window. This is a 4-tire stop for the 20. Little trouble on the left rear of Scott Wimmer. He's now down and away.
Has the weather thrown everyone a curveball?
Well, we know when the race started, track temperature was in the mid-80s. We're already hearing that it's up into the low 90s. And as that happens, and that's something we monitor closer than air temperature, the track just gets slicker and slicker, and you've got to have those adjustments.
There's the difference.
91 degrees.
5 degrees in just a little over about 50 laps.
.57 laps into this race. Jeff Hammond, when might we expect Michael Waltrip on pit road?
According to what Bobby Kennedy said, they'd like to run about 50 laps before they come in. With all the cautions, I think you'd probably take it on up there closer, maybe about 70 now.
Well, Jeff, I was just going to say, if you break this race down, and right now it's kind of got a green flag look to it, if somebody could go 67 laps, that means they could do this race on 2 stops. Do you think anybody could do that? As you said, we had about 9 cautions in this first run.
Larry, one thing we want to point out, we keep talking about it, this year the Busch cars have got more power than ever. I think they're burning more fuel. They're trying to figure this tire situation out. I don't think they know if they can do that this time or not, because a lot of these guys, as we saw a week ago, are trying to get more fuel in these cars, but I don't think they can get it done. As we can see right now, Joe Nemechek's on pit road already.
So here's Nemechek coming into his pit stall, Dick.
This is a planned pit stop. Brian Patty had told Nemechek that he would pit him early. Short pitting is what it's called. And the plan is get your guy in early, give him the tires that he needs. Everybody else pits behind him, and he winds up inheriting the lead. We'll see if it works. So far, we've got what looks like a 3-tire stop. Very strange. Front tire changer around to the left rear of the car to loosen the lugs. This is going to be a long stop as a result. There goes Nemechek. 22.4 seconds. It was a long stop.
Kevin LePage also made a pit stop.
He might have short pitted, but took him a long time.
Now here's Ryan Newman is coming in. Newman was the pole sitter. He had a great 1-lap setup, but not a great 60-lap setup. He's already gone 1 lap down. Matt's in his pit.
He fell from 1st all the way to 18th. They were talking about different changes to make the car. They were hoping to get a caution because they would like to use some spring rubbers and try to fix this race car. Very, very tight. He said it was very, very hard to turn in the center of the corner. A 4-tire stop. They will adjust his car with air pressure, and now he's down and away. 17.8 seconds, Dick Bergman.
Greg Biffle is now on pit road. In the last 2 weeks, he has finished 3rd and 2nd, respectively. Crew chief Randy Goss told me this morning he didn't like the setup they had for the car. They didn't think they were all that fast so far. They've been very fast. Not the best pit stop so far, however. In fact, a very slow pit stop. They're over 20 seconds already. Still don't have the second can in. Very, very slow in the left rear. 25.3 to Ginny Zalasko.
Well, Dick, the 26 is in. Bobby Hamilton Jr. all day has been saying the car's running great, but suddenly now there is a miss in the motor on the straightaway. They told him to hang on that. They'll try to figure it out. In the meantime, 4 tires, and they're going to pull a rubber out of the left rear. The problem is getting the car out of the pit as well.
Mike McLaughlin's in. Another car looking for a sponsor for this season. With Joe Gibbs Racing, number 20 Pontiac. Fairly routine 4-tire stop for McLaughlin.
You would expect a lot of these guys that are not happy with their cars to pit a little bit early. 3 to 4 to 5 laps. Michael's still out there. He doesn't show any signs of coming in, but we'll see how far he's going to tank the fuel, I believe, watching him.
Good stop for McLaughlin, 16.5.
That is a good stop for a Busch Credit national team, but Michael is one of the ones that can't wait till he pits, because he had such a good lead. He was out there 4.5 seconds. He can be one of the last ones to pit, but they don't want to run him out of fuel either.
No, and not only that, there was a few cars, and I don't remember which ones they were, but there are a few cars that, come in and topped up there at last caution flag, so they're going to stay on the racetrack, and that can get you in big trouble.
Jeff Green is in. He's going to get 4 tires on, remember that's a Ford this year, it was a Chevy last year. Matt Kenseth is coasting in between turns 3 and 4. Looks like he'll make it back though.
I bet he's out of fuel.
He's shut off. No sound from that 17. And Jeff Green's done in 17-2. Kevin Harvick is in. And Dick's waiting on him.
Kevin Harvick in now for his pit stop. Probably going to be a 4-tire change. Crew chief is busy, but Ron Liddell is still changing the front tires, and Greg Burkhart's still changing the back. Curtis Bowman's on the jack, and Larry Hartall is on the gas. We got enough brain power from Childress Racing here in this pit area that they could probably field 4 cars and still get them right. Whoa, nice stop. 19 even.
Matt Kenseth did make it around. He is out of fuel as the leader comes toward the pit lane. We're watching Kenseth stop. It'll be a while before Mike Waltrip gets to his stall. Sounds like they got it fired, and they do. Matt Kenseth pulls away.
You're clear, man. 3,400, second gear. 3,400. You're clear. Clear to
Kenseth's out. Michael Waltrip's in. Steve is there.
And here's the adjustments they're going to make. A ½ pound in the right front, 1 pound in the right rear. Hey, Michael Waltrip has experience, but so does his pit crew. This is his Winston Cut team. Tim Sheets on the front tires, Greg Osborne on the rear, Rick Goodrich on the jack. Let's go to Matt Yoakum with Todd Bodine.
A 4-tire stop for Todd Bodine. Remember last week in Las Vegas, 2 very slow and costly pit stops. Trouble on the left front, Billy Wilson. Trouble with the lug. He's finally down the way.
24-second stop for Todd Bodine, who overcame, as Matt said, 2 botched pit stops in Las Vegas to win it. Here's Jeff Purvis. Steve Burns.
And Jeff Purvis in.
Come down. You got about 10 more. Keep coming.
Crew waiting for him. Takes a long time for Purvis to get here, but now he slams it in to the attention of the crew. Jack goes up. No chassis adjustments to the number 18 of Jeff Purvis. Right side tires are on. Left side tires down. The tires come off. Again, no chassis adjustments for Jeff Purvis. A good sign that his car is handling well. 15.7 seconds for Jeff Purvis.
3,200.
Hank Parker Jr. will pick up the lead. Number 36 as Purvis pulls away, and Kevin LePage makes another stop. And you can see the squirters right there working on the windshield. Of course, no wipers, but the washers are working.
Just a little bit warm. That's where the
not
radiator
what you want to see
is.
right there, I'm telling you.
There is Parker, who has picked up the lead here as we cycle through green flag pit stops. First full round of pit stops today. Now Randy LaJoie is second. Remember, he's also out of sequence on pit stop with the drivers who have been the leaders, and Jason Keller is third. So we've cycled through, pretty much cycled through a round of green flag pit stops here at Atlanta, and Hank Parker Jr. right now is our leader.
NASCAR Busch Series Racing invades Bristol Motor Speedway on March 24 for the Cheez-It 250. Good seats are still available. Call 423-764-1161. Bristol Motor Speedway. Racing.
I'm principal of a new kind of public school. It's open up to 15 hours a day, year-round. It has loads of academic, cultural, and recreational activities. We have medical and dental services right here. Our teachers have more time to teach. Our students are better prepared to learn. There's just one problem. We can't get the kids to go home.
Find out how your public school can be more like this one. Call 1-877-LOVE-TO-LEARN.
To a child, a little of your time can make a lifetime of difference. That's why the Greenville Family Partnership sponsored a hike, because kids with something to do are less likely to do drugs.
Standing right in front of them.
Whether you're a good storyteller or a good listener, you can help. To find out about community drug prevention programs, call toll-free 1-877-KIDS-313.
I can keep a kid off drugs.
Get revved up for 8 back-to-back episodes of Son of the Beach with behind-the-scenes info from the cast all night. Son of the Beach Marathon, Monday night starting at 8 on FX.
Welcome back to Atlanta in the Aaron's 312. Michael Waltrip has just taken the lead from that white car at the top left of your screen. Hank Parker Jr., who pitted at lap 12 and is now at the end of his long green flag run.
Yeah, he is. And let me tell you, Michael is breaking their backs. Not only has he got a fast race car, but what he did coming in and out of the pits. Now, we have a graphic that'll show you that when he came in and out of the pits, this is from the time he entered the pit road until he got back to the start-finish line, Michael's time was 112.87 seconds. The next closest guy to him was Bodine, 116. Harvick was 113. But Kansas was 100 and almost 30 seconds from the time he entered the pit road till he got back around on the start-finish line. Here you can see what I'm talking about, the times. See how much quicker Michael was? That's in and out. That's from the end of pit road back to the start-finish line. Harvick was pretty good, but the rest of these guys, they lost a bunch of time just getting in and out of the pits.
And that could make so much difference. Remember, Kenseth was out of fuel and or had to coast in. That's the reason his time was so slow.
Kenny Wallace just made a pit stop. He was also one of those that pitted out of sequence back on the first couple of cautions. Michael Waltrip, your leader. Here's Chris Myers.
All right, now with Jeff Hammond, let's take a look early. A rarity here, a number of self-inflicted spins when this race began. Jeff Hammond, Larry Foyt on lap 3, and then a second caution comes out. Randy LaJoie, a winner at Daytona, having problems.
And a great save right there as he came off that corner and almost came back in front of the whole field just about, but he saves it, gets it straight, keeps continuing.
Third caution, it was David Starr, and the tire problems, we saw the tread rolling out from his Pontiac. It was on lap 35. Michael Waltrip on the Aaron's rent. Obviously, this is an Aaron's event, moving past Joe Nemechek.
Yeah, taking the lead right there. I mean, Michael's extremely strong right now. He's figured out how to make this top groove work, and his car is just really on a rail at this moment. And he just actually just pretty much waxed the field off pit road also.
He's led, as you see, 36 of 77 laps. We've had 5 lead changes. We'll keep an eye on the tires and the pit stops as this continues.
Chris, he looks like he's on a Sunday afternoon ride on Saturday.
And we'll be watching him on Sunday as well. Let's go back upstairs to Mike Joy.
Thanks, Chris. 77 laps complete. You ride in the Aaron's onboard camera with Michael Waltrip. There is Joe Nemechek, early leader, who presently is in 5th place. Dick Berggren.
Remember that strange pit stop where Steve Dixon, the front tire changer, came around to Nemechek's rear of the car and loosened up the lug nuts? The reason for that is Dwayne Bigger was busy in the back end of the car pulling his spring rubber out. Because he was so busy pulling the spring rubber out, he was going to be slow. So Brian Patty set the front tire changer to the rear to loosen up the lugs. Then he did the left front lugs. That's the fastest possible way to do a pit stop when you're going to have to take extra time in the rear. Smart guy, that Brian Patty. To that.
Dick, Todd Bodine pitted on lap 66. This is his left front tire. A little bit of the cords near the outer edge started to come through, but Brett Bodine, Todd's brother, came down, looked at the tires, said they looked very good considering they had 66 laps on them. Todd's car was a little bit tight, but his water was a little high. They wanted to add tape, but they couldn't do that because of the water temperature was reaching so high.
There's Bodine alongside Elton Sawyer. Now, the 2 drivers in the top 10 that have not stopped during this cycle, Hank Parker Jr. and Jason Keller, the 5th place car, we're waiting for them to come to pit road.
That rubber that Dr. Dick was showing us there, I'll tell you how sophisticated we've become. They have different hardnesses of those rubbers. They have some that are real soft and don't make much change in the spring, and they move right up the line there from soft to medium to real hard to make huge changes.
Lead over Bodine, who was in second. Harvard is second right now, got to pit pretty soon.
Telling Michael Waltrip that Hank Parker Jr. is about to pit and that Todd Bodine is 1.2 seconds off the lead. Brad Baker slow in turn 3. He may be out of fuel, but he will make it back around. Let's crank it up, folks, for those of you with surround sound, and get the full sound of these Busch Grand National racers. Trouble out of turn 2. One car slow in the middle of the racetrack. Parker had run out of gas. They were 3 wide behind him, and the car shooting through the middle piled into Parker. Ashton Lewis. The speed differential, Darrell, between those cars was at least 70 or so miles per hour.
Well, just like we saw last week when Matt Kenseth just pumped it a little bit off the corner and Biffle got into the back. I mean, imagine what happens when you run out of fuel and just stop. Here's Parker up here, and you can see he's slowing down. He's trying to get down to the inside, and he just pulled right down in front of Ashton Lewis. And here comes
Tim Fedewa.
Tim Fedewa. He has nowhere to go. I'm sure when the car ran out of gas, Hank Parker tried to get down out of the way, knowing that he was going to be in harm's way, and he just drove right down in front of those cars behind him. That's a big hit. One's running wide open, the other's trying to get out of the way and slowing down. Most of these cars are just the way they're made. They don't give you much warning, do they, Larry? They just run out of fuel and they quit. Nothing that Ashton Lewis could do. Parker just ran out of fuel and was trying to get down out of the groove, and here these cats come, and the spotters couldn't even warn him quick enough. Looks like everybody's okay.
And Darrell Ashton had quite a run coming through turn 2 underneath Tim Fedewa. He was going to, but he couldn't quite clear Fedewa before he got to this car out of fuel.
This is a 66 car that got caught up in the mess and into the outside of a retaining wall. So all these cars are badly damaged. Everybody's fine. Everybody's out walking around. I'm sure somebody's saying, hey, what happened anyway?
That was Hank Parker, who stretched that fuel mileage just 1 lap too far.
The pickups in these fuel cells are so that when they'll run until there's no fuel left in them, and when they run out, they just quit all at once.
Tim Fedewa was an innocent victim. Pulls that car back behind the wall, and pit road is open. And here comes our leader, and just our leader.
I believe everybody else.
The rest of them, the other cars are a lap. They haven't caught up yet. Yeah, here comes Todd back there. The rest of them are coming with him. See, the set of tires that got up under green don't count against the 3 sets. So they come in, they still got 2 more sets to use.
There's our triple split of the 3 leaders pitting. Let's start with Matt.
Todd Bodine already in his pit stop. They are now just fine-tuning the 00 of Todd Bodine. A half a pound of air pressure out of the right front, a half a pound in the right rear to Steve Burns.
Michael Walter making an air pressure adjustment as well. They're going backwards from the way they went last time. Half a pound out of the right front, half a pound out of the right rear as well. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
Joe Nemechek is in the pit, as well as Kevin Harvick. It is Harvick who has the greatest amount of problem. He ran over debris on the backstretch, picked up a flat tire as a result of that debris. Right now they've got a tire loose on pit road. Crew member grabs it around to the left side. Pandemonium down here on pit road. Nemechek first one away. Wow.
Harvick gets away, and you see Biffle couldn't quite get all the way in there, the way the cars were lined up along the lane. There's Biffle's car.
Yeah, Biffle's, he's not, I don't know if he's out of the box or not. His right rear tire was out of the box.
The right rear it was actually, I think, on the line, and if it's on the line, you're okay. The right rear is the only one that can be that way, though.
I like Dick's explanation. Pandemonium. That's what it feels like.
Hank Parker's car is pancake-demonium. As we'll go to break under caution at lap 84. And there's the reason why. We'll be right back to Atlanta. You're watching NASCAR on FX.
The tragedy.
We've got 47 men dead, and we've got to go step by step.
The cover-up.
What happened in that gun turret?
Truth.
The Navy is scapegoating a dead man to protect itself.
James Caan.
This goes way beyond disloyalty.
A glimpse of hell based on a true story. Premieres March 18th at 8, only on FX.
Hi, I'm Ken Butler, president of Aaron's Sales and Lease Ownership, proud sponsor of the Aaron's 312.
It's the Busch Series race with the drama of 12 extra miles. Ah, but here's why the race is called the Aaron's 312.
Because of the 3 great reasons to get the products you dream about from Aaron's.
1, everyone is pre-approved. 2, everyone gets the guaranteed lowest price.
And 3, Aaron's 12-month lease ownership.
Get it? The Aaron's 312. Aaron's 312. 312 is for everyone, everywhere. So let Aaron's drive your dreams home.
When you call your Bryant dealer, he'll be there. So whenever you need help with your heating, wherever you need it, your Bryant dealer will get it to you, whatever it takes.
Great place.
Well, thanks.
Ashton Lewis had a great run going, and now he has an all torn up race car to show for it. After pit stops, Michael Waltrip, Todd Bodine, Joe Nemechek. We showed you Greg Biffle right on the edge of his pit box. Let's show you why.
Well, you see Michael right here. He's coming out of his pit box, and here comes Biffle, and he says, whoa, I can't get in. So he does the best he can to get the car in the box. I think he was okay. The right rear was on the line, Larry, so I think he's fine.
Another angle of it right here.
Oh, man. How you like to be leading the race and have that happen?
I mean, Biffle was really lucky he could get it even into his pit box. And again, we're going to see his right rear tire hanging out right there.
But it's
That's
on the line.
legal as long as it's the right rear. The right rear is the only one that can be that way.
86 laps. Michael Waltrip is the leader.
Okay, guys, you know what this means? Reload.
Yes.
Everybody's had a chance. Now we got a caution here. Everybody's been in. They've made some adjustments, tires, spring rubbers. Now Michael may have it may be a whole new race. He had the dominant car. Todd Bodine's up there now. Nemechek needed some work on his car, and the points leader there, one of them, Jeff Green, is right up there ready to challenge.
But the unique thing, the pace Michael's been keeping at 85 laps, there's only 11 cars on the lead lap.
Oh, yeah, he was putting them down.
There's Todd Bodine, your second place car, behind Michael Waltrip, ahead of Joe Nemechek, Jeff Green, and Jeff Purvis. This is the Aaron's 312 on FX.
Bigger, bolder, funnier.
You wouldn't believe what I found in my shorts.
Just 3 days until the second coming. An all-new season of Son of the Beach premieres Tuesday at 10 on FX.
She's a real beauty. And she never bugs you about spending so much time with the guys. She never complains about you watching football. She thinks a little gas is a good thing. Maybe she isn't a she after all. Here's to the perfect relationship. Here's how to keep it that way.
If you can't stop here, stop here. For 25% off the regular price of Midas BSD brake pads and shoes. They've got a lifetime guarantee. They're quieter, they stop faster, and last longer. Go Midas.
From all the race fans at Aaron Sales and Lease Ownership, a first series race with the drama of 12 extra miles.
12 extra miles?
It's called the Aaron's 312.
What kind of idiot approved 12 extra miles?
Ken Butler.
Well, what about pit strategy? What about tires? What about fuel? What about you two? Who are you?
We're the Aaron's 312 girls. Ken approved us, too.
The Aaron's 312 at Atlanta Motor Speedway, March 10th on FX.
Like I said, I like the way this Butler guy thinks.
Americans love their high-performance Briggs & Stratton engines. That's why just about every neighborhood in America is a Briggs & Stratton neighborhood. Briggs & Stratton, the power that works for you.
It's here, McDonald's next big thing, the new Big and Tasty. Now just 99 cents to celebrate the opening of Disney's California Adventure, Disney's newest theme park, right next door to Disneyland in California. So, how does a 99-cent Big and Tasty sound?
Welcome back to Atlanta, our coverage of the Aaron's 312 on FX. We've been talking about pit box situation and drivers getting into their pits and getting properly serviced, as we saw with Greg Biffle here just a bit ago under this caution. Jeff Hammond has more.
Yeah, Mike, we talked about earlier, you can get the right rear hung out of the pit box. It's okay. On NASCAR's little card right here that we have, as you can see right here, this is a card that all the crews are given. The crew chiefs especially are given a copy of this, so they know beyond a shadow of a doubt what you can get penalized for and what you can't. This is what Greg Biffle did right here, and it says right above it, that's okay. If you notice right here, You get the nose over. That's what the 16 car did, and he was over the line. He got penalized a lap, and they're going green, guys.
Michael Waltrip leads the back to the green flag to begin lap 90. Marty Houston trying to get back on the lead lap as the car inside as Michael goes way up the racetrack, loses the lead. Todd Bodine and Joe Nemechek slip past. Here comes Jeff Green.
Boy, look at the 00 car right there. He just shot out of a cannon over there in the middle of turn 3 and 4, Matt Yoakum.
Larry, the concern for Todd Bodine now is a wheel vibration. After pitting on lap 84, he came on the radio and asked Gary Coswell's crew chief, did you guys get all the lug nuts tight? They said, yes, we did. He says, we may have a wheel out of balance. Dave Bergeron?
Kevin Harvick ran over debris just during that accident situation. You can see here where the debris cut the tire. His great concern was he didn't want to go fast because he didn't want this tire to tear up. If it did, it would have chewed up his fender, and the crush panels inside would have made the car slow. As it was, he got the job done, got the tire changed, went back out in 6th spot.
Nemechek moves past Bodine for the lead, and Jamie McMurray's in trouble up in turn 1.
Yeah, that started back here in 3 and 4. And man, I tell you what, it almost was the same thing that happened to the 36 car over there when he ran out of fuel. He's probably got a tire down, and he caused a heck of a bunch of cars to back up. Got a car smoking up in the middle of 3 and 4.
Kelly Denton. Everybody's going to get by him on the inside.
Watch this 27 car. They're coming down here. Looks like something happens to the car going in the corner, Larry, and it starts up the racetrack. Right now, he's pedaling, trying to, whoa.
That was Elton Sawyer.
Elton Sawyer just barely squeezed through, and now he knows he's in trouble, and he's bottlenecking everybody up.
He's definitely got a tire going down.
Yeah, he's on pit road with a flat right front.
There you see it right there, the right front tire. Of course, here they run that inner liner, the tire within the tire, and that's the only reason he probably didn't get into a big wreck or hit the wall, is that inner liner held it up.
Kelly Denton, they're saying that's tire smoke as he comes to pit road also. Steve?
And Jenny McMurray is in. It looks like they may be holding him, the NASCAR official holding up a finger. They have finished work on the right side. Took them a long time, and yes, they are going to hold him. He evidently was too fast down pit road.
Yeah, that happens a lot of times. You panic, you know, you start down pit road, and here comes one of our top 5 cars. There's a 26 car coming down pit road.
Bobby Hamilton Jr., what's the problem, Matt?
He came on the radio. Bobby Hamilton Jr. said to his crew, the water is now at 255 to 260. He felt like it was starting to push water out, overheating. They're going to raise the hood. They're going to put some water in it to try to cool down this engine. He says the oil pressure is okay, but the car is running very, very hot.
And normally when the water temperature gets that high, you know, you can run 235 or 240 as long as it don't climb. When it gets that high, it's just going to keep climbing.
Oh, yeah, and the engine will eventually just seize up. So the best thing to do is bring it in, work on it. If you can't get it cooled off, park it and race it again another day.
Now you've got Joe Nemechek, who likes the bottom of this racetrack. That's where he's been running, but Michael Waltrip was gaining on him, so they put Nemechek up high. Here's Todd Bodine, who also likes it on the bottom, in 2nd place. He's about 8/10 of a second back.
A lot of times you can change around the setup and make the car work on the bottom.
Here's Michael Waltrip in the 99 running in 4th right now. And as we look at our chart, he's running about the same speed as those other 3. And I noticed on that restart how he lost all that ground. Darrell, I got to believe that maybe they're starting their air pressures a little lower than some of these other guys. Just anticipation of the long run, all the air pressure build up.
Yeah, I believe you're right. His car seems to really be coming back now. He's just passing Green there for 3rd place.
Your call. All clear. All clear.
You heard the spotters say your call. The spotters are right above us and looking down toward turn 4 where he passed Jeff Green. It's coming straight at him. You can't really tell. That's the reason he says your call. There's the spotters up on top of the press box right there.
Well, you've seen the front 4. Jeff Purvis is the 5th place car as Jeff Green there closes up on Michael Waltrip. There's a look at Purvis, who right now is alone on the racetrack, Steve.
It's interesting. We're hearing a lot of drivers say the same thing. They feel like they have a vibration. Jeff Purvis called Doug Richard and said, please look at the tires that came off after the last pit stop. I keep feeling a vibration. It feels like the same vibration we had at Las Vegas last weekend. We've heard several drivers reference that. They're just wondering if they're not used to these new tires.
Could be. Here comes Greg Biffle in 6th, chasing after Purvis.
That's exactly what it is. These crews will start to ease the air pressure down, Larry, as you well know. Pound here, pound there, and they'll keep going down, and all of a sudden, the tires won't feel good until the air pressure builds up in them. And they'll bounce or have a little vibration in them.
Looks like Greg Biffle in the 60 car. He's hunting that high line right there. He's up there about the 3rd groove where Michael's been running.
Plus, the other thing is, don't forget how fast we're going here. If the tire is out of balance at all, any of the wheel or the tire, whatever, you're going to feel it through the steering wheel more than you will other places.
Michael Waltrip on the move underneath Todd Bodine. And Michael moves back up to 2nd place behind Joe Nemechek by about a 1.5 seconds. But there's a good 3-car battle there. Waltrip, Todd Bodine, and Jeff Green. So Nemechek's the leader as we complete 100 laps. Michael Waltrip back up to 2nd. Todd Bodine, Jeff Green, Jeff Purvis, your front 5 here at Atlanta. 100 laps complete in the Aaron's 312 on FX.
Get that?
When I have an asthma attack, I feel scared. Sometimes my parents have to take me to the hospital. I feel like a fish with no water.
You know how to react to their asthma attacks. Here's how to prevent them. Call 1-866-NO-ATTACKS. Visit www.noattacks.org or call your doctor. Because even one attack is one too many.
I'm Mike Thatcher, Pre-Owned Operations Manager here at Bill Curry Ford. When it comes to getting a great deal with no high-pressure sales tactics, nobody beats our prices. You can own a 1998 or newer Ford Explorer from just $245 a month. Buy a 98 or newer full-size Ford F-150 for as little as $250 a month. You can own one of 40 pre-owned vehicles that are 97s and newer for as little as $129 a month. So come in and ask for me personally. I'm here 6 days a week. At Bill Curry Ford, we've been doing things right for over 40 years.
Hey, did you think you'd have to climb Mount Everest to find the lowest price in a full-size SUV? Come to Gator Ford and get the lowest price on Expeditions. Gator Ford's got a mountain of Expeditions. All packages and colors with unbelievable prices starting as low as $27.9. And if you come in right now, you can get a $1,000 rebate or financing as low as 0.9%. Plus, if you hurry, you'll discover that Gator Ford's got special lease rates as low as $375 a month. Just look for the sign with the good-looking reptile. Gator Ford on Highway 301 just north of I-4. A proud member of the Grade 8 Metro Ford dealers.
The Lumberjack battles the bad boy. All hell's gonna break loose. An all-new Tough Man 2001, Friday at 10 on FX.
You're looking at Elton Sawyer, who just had a hard crash in turn 2. It started when the 11 of Marty Houston tangled with the 61 of Tim Sauter, and Elton Sawyer came into that scene full bore. Look at the front end of his Brad Akins Ford. Elton is okay.
11 car gets down on the apron, comes back up the racetrack into the 61. Now watch this, when the 61 comes down and Elton hits him running wide open.
There's nowhere for Tim Sauter in the 61 to go, and as they slide down off the banking, just nowhere for Elton Sawyer. What a hit.
And let me tell you, the 61 car, Tim Sauter's lucky that wasn't in the driver's door. It was just behind the driver's door, and that was a blessing.
Once again, the whole problem, the 11 car, Marty Houston, got those left side tires below the white line on the apron, shot him up the racetrack and spun him.
Second week in a row that Marty Houston has had a single car sprint to bring out a caution. Here's Joe Nemechek, your leader, in the pits. So is Michael Waltrip. Todd Bodine completes his service and gets out. Nemechek's away. Jeff Green in the 10. Greg Biffle in the 60.
That's a happy bunch of guys. That's a great stop.
We did note that Elton Sawyer was wearing the HANDS device, the head and neck support that the driver wears as a yoke over his shoulders, under his shoulder harness, and the helmet attaches to that. Now there's Marty Houston walking away. Jeff?
I'm telling you right now, that HANDS device right there may have been the one thing that just saved Elton Sawyer a trip to the hospital today, guys, because we talked about it since Daytona, how that device right there can keep your head from snapping forward, and that right there was one whale of a hit that he just took.
Rescue workers talking with Tim Sauter, who, from what we see, is still inside his car, and there is the remains of the front end of Elton Sawyer's machine. So a hard crash in turn 2 that started with a spin by Marty Houston. Activity continues on pit road. 105 laps complete in the Aaron's 312.
Get revved up for 8 back-to-back episodes of Son of the Beach with behind-the-scenes info from the cast all night. Son of the Beach Marathon, Monday night starting at 8 on FX.
Refreshing as a mountain stream. Head for the mountains of Busch beer.
Ken Butler, president of Aaron's Sales and Lease Ownership, proud sponsor of the Aaron's 312.
It's the Busch Series race with the drama of 12 extra miles. Ah, but here's why the race is called the Aaron's 312.
Because of the 3 great reasons to get the products you dream about from Aaron's.
1, everyone is pre-approved. 2, everyone gets the guaranteed lowest price.
And 3, Aaron's 12-month lease ownership.
Get it? The Aaron's 312. Aaron's 312 is for everyone, everywhere. So let Aaron's drive your dreams home.
4 identical cars, 4 identical engines. Only one running on new Haviland, our latest triumph in Haviland motor oil technology. And what difference does that make? Not only do you get unsurpassed performance, but tests show that with new Haviland under the hood, you get better gas mileage. Haviland, add more life to your car.
FX welcomes you back to Atlanta at Aaron's 312. We are under caution, lap 101. Michael Waltrip, your leader, with some pit stop action. Let's get out to pit road with Dick Bergman. Dick?
Crew Chief Brian Patty called Joe Nemechek in out of the lead to change 4 tires and put fuel in it. Hadn't been that long since they had already done that, but Brian decided that they needed to have fresh tires in order to be able to keep up with everybody. Meanwhile, Tommy Baldwin, Winston Cup crew chief for Ward Burton, was down here checking. He's doing a little homework for tomorrow. To Steve Burns.
Dick, Michael Waltrip came in. They had a great pit stop. The only thing they adjusted, they took a pound out of the left rear. Jeff Purvis, they took a spring rubber out of the left rear spring. Let's go to Matt.
Todd Bodine was one of 9 drivers in the lead lap to pit on lap 105. He did not like that last set of tires, so they took the opportunity under this caution to make a 4-tire stop. They also took 1 round of wedge out to try to loosen up his race car. To Chris.
All right, thank you very much. Let's take a look as repairs are being made and adjustments and what happened in turn 2. Marty Houston of the 11 car tangling with Tim Sauter in the 61 car, who later walked away, went to the care unit. But Jeff Hammond, what's happening right here?
As you can see, 11 car Marty Houston's got down on the apron. The car has gotten around on him. He's starting back up the racetrack. And as he goes up the racetrack, you'll see a red car, the number 61 car, Tim Sauter. He comes in. He has no place to go. They get together. Sauter bounces off the wall and comes back across the racetrack. About this time, you see the 98 car. Elton Sawyer just drills him right there in the left rear quarter panel, and he is just extremely lucky.
Just a tremendous impact on that hit. And you look at the car of Elton Sawyer, but he was able to get out, and without any noticeable injury, he is somewhat relaxed wearing the Hans device. And I wanted to mention, Jeff, that Jeff Gordon, who was the first Winston Cup driver to win a race last week with the Hans device, said more drivers will be wearing this in Atlanta.
Right there around the back of his neck, you can see this is the Hans device. Right here. This is the Hans device.
And that protects the head from...
That's right. It attaches to his helmet, but he's already hit the quick releases, which are right here, to release him from the helmet so that he can get out of the car. But as you saw, he can get out of the car with the device on if necessary.
It's something other drivers will be looking into. More Winston Cup drivers will be wearing the Hans device tomorrow. More on that on our pre-race show on Fox when we bring you the race tomorrow. We're continuing here under caution at the Aaron 312 on FX. Michael Waltrip, your leader, and there he is, in and out of the pits. We'll be back with more from FX in a moment.
From all the race fans at Aaron Sales and Lease Ownership, a first series race with the drama of 12 extra miles.
12 extra miles?
It's called the Aaron's 312.
What kind of idiot approved 12 extra miles?
Ken Butler.
Hey, what about pit strategy? What about tires? What about fuel? What about you two? Who are you?
We're the Aaron's 312 girls. Ken approved us, too.
The Aaron's 312, Atlanta Motor Speedway, March 10th on FX.
Like I said, I like the way this Butler guy thinks.
Remember your first kiss, your first slow dance, your first test drive? Get that feeling back at Pep Boys, where new 35,000-mile tires are just $4 for $99. Fall in love with your car again at Pep Boys. Tempting, flirtatious, seductive. And that's just the fender. It's that time of year at Pep Boys where you can save over $90 on these great car care products. Fall in love with your car again at Pep Boys.
If you could use some help, Labor Ready makes finding it easy. Just call 1-800-24-LABOR or go to laborready.com. Order anytime. The day before or an hour before. No interviewing, no paperwork, no hassles. And with over 800 offices across the U.S. and Canada, there's a Labor Ready near you. You can find good help these days. Labor Ready. Dependable temporary labor.
Kevin, I'm going out. Remember, when the guy comes to fix the dryer, tell him it doesn't dry. If your mother calls, find out what flight she's on, otherwise we won't know where to meet her. Dinner's in the oven. Turn it on at 5.
Eat a Wendy's honey ham and chicken sandwich and something happens. That delicious combination of a whole breast filet, honey ham, and creamy Dijon sauce makes it difficult to pay attention to anything else.
And I told the neighbor you'd feed their cats. If you have a minute, honey, the back door's stuck open.
Come in. Wendy's honey ham and chicken.
Lunch, anyone?
Get inside the live racing action with RaceCast. Any driver, every lap. Only at NASCAR.com. America Online keyword, NASCAR.
Welcome back on FX, Aaron's 312, the Busch race. Later today, the final practice for tomorrow's Winston Cup race. You'll see that on FX following this race. The drivers can make their way through. And then Sunday, NASCAR this morning, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. That's on Fox Sports Net. Then catch the race here, the Cracker Barrel 500 from Atlanta, 12:30 Eastern on pre-race show. Bobby Labonte will be joining us. And then it all wraps up on Fox Sports Net at Victory Lane. Here's a quick pit stop summary. Again, Michael Waltrip, our leader. We've had 8 lead changes with 6 different drivers, but this tells some of the story.
Well, right now you see where Michael's gone back in the lead because of a great pit stop, but also Todd Bodine's woes in the pits are continued. He was 3rd coming in, now he's back 7th again. So, I mean, they got to work on their pit stops if this boy wants to win a race again.
As we continue on FX, there is your leader, Michael Waltrip. Let's go back upstairs. Darrell Waltrip, Larry McReynolds, and Mike Joy.
5 of Michael Waltrip's 8 Busch Series wins have come on super speedways, 2 at Charlotte, 2 at Dover, 1 at Darlington. Now, last week, Todd Bodine overcame 2 botched pit stops, including one where they ended up retightening some lug nuts when he was out of the box. You see, he pulls out, they haul him to a stop and say, come back, we got to redo this. And he does.
But he's out of the pit box. And this was kind of, I think, a wake-up call for NASCAR. I think it kind of caught them off guard what went on here. And I was told by David Hoots just a little while ago, actually, that in the drivers' meeting this morning for the Busch race and in tomorrow's drivers' meeting for the Winston Cup race, they will stress, if you work on that car, even if you're redoing something or making a mistake better or fixing it, you got to get back in your pit box or one-lap penalty.
David Hoots, the race director. Now, as Jeff explained earlier, there's even a card handed out how you must get into the pits to make your pit stops, but there's really nothing printed about if you have to back up or have to have something done. So they've clarified that for the teams. Let's crank it up for this restart, folks. Joe Nemechek has come to the lead.
And the 74 car, Chad Little right there, he's on the tail end of the lead lap, fighting, trying to stay out there, hopefully get a caution, just like Ryan Newman, the 02 car there. Both these guys at the tail end of the lead lap, trying to get a caution, get that lap back. Chad Little's going to lose his back right here.
They can see behind them, they keep fighting too, because I tell you what, these guys are all over the place. You know, we've lost 11 cars out of this race already. We're down to 30 cars, and attrition's been a little high today.
And let's reiterate, the 3 drivers involved in that hard crash in turn 2 are all okay. Marty Houston, Elton Sawyer, and Tim Sauter. In fact, Jeannie is caught up with Elton.
Yeah. Elton Sawyer, a proud owner of a Hans device, yes?
Yes, ma'am. Wow, what a hit. I've never in my life hit that hard. I saw the smoke, and Tim Sauter, the next thing I saw was the 61 coming down, and the spot had already said go low. When I turned, man, he come in my windshield so fast, and I'm a little sore in my chest area, but wow, if I hadn't had that device on, my head would have been all in that steering wheel. So thanks to Jim Downing and Bob Hubbard, really appreciate it. Hate it from my Georgia Bulldog car. It was wasn't where we needed it to be. It was a little loose, but we found a pretty good groove up top, and I was liking that, and thought we were going to have a pretty good, maybe a top 15 day, but look forward to Darlington.
I take solace in the fact you're sitting here in one piece, and we're glad to see that. Mike?
Robert Hubbard was a professor at Michigan State when he developed the Hans device in conjunction with sports car racer Jim Downing from here in Atlanta.
Look at this battle for second right here, Greg.
Whoa, 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 no, don't do that.
Whoa, Ryan Newman into the outside wall there.
Somebody got into the back of him and got him started up the hill. That's what I was hollering about. He's lucky that he got hit from behind. He's lucky that he hung on to it at all. And yes, Mike, he pancaked.
Yeah, he slapped it pretty hard there, Darrell.
You know, 5 of the 6 drivers there in the top 6 are all Winston Cup drivers. That's something we had talked about. Maybe that experience would probably pay off today.
Right now, he's got all the tire smoke and being filled inside, being filled with smoke.
He's down low, and that 8 car comes up there and gets it. That's when I started hollering right there, and I knew he was in trouble. And he gets up there and gets in that gray stuff. A lot of sand and rubber and dirt get on your tires. Car won't cut. Into the wall he goes.
That was Blaze Alexander, an 8 car that actually got into the back of him.
And we're going to stay green as Newman limps around and makes it onto pit road.
And he's going to be too fast, I think, down pit road.
I guarantee you he'll be sitting there for a few minutes extra.
Matt?
The 02 does come to a stop. They are going to work on the right side. He was speeding down pit road, a rookie mistake. They told him to be patient. We'll fix this car once it gets in, but he did speed. They are going to make
A chassis adjustment. You can see the wedge wrench in the back window, discussing things very slow. The trouble with the jack. Boy, when things go wrong, they certainly have gone wrong now for Ryan Newman. A very slow stop. He had made it back out of the tail of the lead lap. Now the 2 cars slowing on the track, Mike.
The 2 car got up against the wall coming off turn 2 over. Just he got pushed up high and got into the outside wall. Not hard, but he got up in that loose stuff. And the longer this race goes on, the dirtier it gets up there. You get up out of that groove. That's the problem with running that high line. You can get into the fence real easy.
Harvick drops back to 9th place.
He didn't do a lot of damage to his car, but he just got against it a little bit coming off of turn 2 and slowed him down. I don't think it hurt the car that much.
Don't see any tire smoke. Boy, you got to give a call to Jason Keller in the 57 car. Fought that car earlier in the race. His crew decided to pit under those earlier cautions. Didn't change tires, made some adjustments. He stayed out and caught a caution and stayed on the lead lap, and they worked their way into the 8th position.
We'll show you again what happened to Kevin Harvick.
He's just up there, and you know, like I said, he gets up in that high groove. Like, see that dirt and dust flying up, that sand, rubber, and all that stuff off the racetrack. And you know, I don't think he really hit the wall. I think he just got sideways and corrected and lost his momentum, but he's back going again.
You can run where it's black, but you can't run where it's gray.
That's exactly right. He jumped the cushion.
Here's your leader, Joe Nemechek. Greg Biffle is now closed to within a second of the lead.
Well, this ought to be a track, and that car with Mark Martin has won a lot of races here, and this track is coming around to where that car ought to be the best car on the track. This is Mark Martin conditions right now. Kind of hot, slick, everybody slipping around. He's hammered down.
Greg Biffle came close to the Truck Series Championship of NASCAR 2 years ago, won it last year, and owner Jack Roush promoted him here to the NASCAR Busch Series. Very aggressive driver. Asked him about that. He said, well, that's how you had to run the trucks. You had to be aggressive with those trucks every lap to make them go. These cars are different.
And what I like about him, Darrell, is he gets more out of that race car than there. He's the only driver so far this year, a rookie, that has led in all 3 races. He's always on that wheel. He's always fighting it. He's getting everything out of it.
Yeah, you know, I was surprised when Jack moved the young kid up, Biffle, to the Winston Cup. And didn't move Biffle up when he moved, what's the kid's name?
Kurt Busch.
Kurt Busch. When he moved Kurt Busch up, I thought Biffle would have been a better candidate. If I was the owner, that's the way I'd have done it.
The way Roush explained it, he said, yes, Biffle has more experience, but Busch reads a new racetrack better than anyone he'd seen in some time. So that was the reason given at the time. You saw Michael Waltrip lose a spot.
Yeah, his car's not as good as it was. They've made some changes, obviously, in the pits, and they've gone the wrong way. Saw that happen to him a couple times. Saw it happen to him at Rockingham in the Winston Cup race. Got up there on that high line and was really moving, but then as the race wore on, it didn't work for him.
This is your lead battle right here.
You got to give a call to Brian Patty, though, Joe Nemechek's crew chief. Brought him in early under green, had the unique pit stop where they got the rubber out. Greg Biffle's running him down right now in the 60 car, but definitely improved that car tremendously with that change.
Yeah, I think he's still getting loose on the long run, though.
That's Brian Patty right there. Joe Nemechek's crew chief. Been with Joe a number of years.
And just a young kid, too. He's not all that old.
Nemechek, Biffle, Kenseth, Bodine, Green, and now Waltrip has fallen back to 6th place, Steve.
With crew chief Bobby Kennedy. Bobby, you had a great pit stop, but you're falling back. What's wrong with the car?
Just a little bit tight right now. Running real low air, and it takes us a little bit to get going, but running about the same as the leader right now, so I think we'll be okay.
He's caught back up to Jeff Green.
I don't know, Darrell. When a car starts pushing and getting tight in Atlanta, the only thing normally fixes it is 4 more tires and some adjustments.
That's exactly right. And the problem is just like I've said before, he has fallen so far behind that by the time his car comes in, the leader's way over here on the front straightaway.
Talking about leaders, we're about a lap away, I think, from a lead change. Greg Biffle is pulled right up to the rear bumper of Joe Nemechek in the 87 car.
And you can believe Biffle's getting some good coaching. I mean, he's got Jeff Burton down there, and he's got Mark Martin down there, and he's got Jack Roush down there. He's got a lot of good help.
Biffle hunting the lead at 129 laps, 74 to go in this 312-mile race. Joe Nemechek continues to lead the Aaron's 312 on FX.
A terrible tragedy. A naked cover-up. James Caan. This goes way beyond his loyalty. A glimpse of hell. Premieres Sunday, March 18th at 8.
If you can't stop here, stop here. For 25% off the regular price of Midas BSD brake pads and shoes. They've got a lifetime guarantee. They're quieter, they stop faster, and last longer. Go Midas.
Hi, I'm Ken Butler, president of Aaron's Sales and Lease Ownership, proud sponsor of the Aaron's 312.
It's the Busch Series race with the drama of 12 extra miles. Ah, but here's why the race is called the Aaron's 312.
Because of the 3 great reasons to get the products you dream about from Aaron's.
1, everyone is pre-approved. 2, everyone gets the guaranteed lowest price.
And 3, Aaron's 12-month lease ownership.
Get it? The Aaron's 312. Aaron's 312 is for everyone, everywhere. So let Aaron's drive your dreams home.
You ready, guys? This could be the ride of your life. You gotta get past the myths and the excuses. Erectile difficulty is a common problem. Effective treatment is available. Talk to your doctor. You might be surprised how easily you can get through it.
Americans love their high-performance Briggs & Stratton engines. That's why just about every neighborhood in America is a Briggs & Stratton neighborhood. Briggs & Stratton, the power that works for you.
I can get,
more masking tape.
more concrete.
More plaster. More of these.
I need more tools.
More lawn!
More of this?
Hey, neighbor!
More of that? Maybe I can get 3 more feet.
I need a lot more tools.
When I go to Home Depot, I can save money.
Nuts.
And I can get more stuff.
A lot more than I would have expected.
That's what I'm talking about.
This is why I go to Home Depot first.
The Home Depot, first in home improvement.
We have a new leader in Atlanta. Here's how it happened. Greg Biffle going after Joe Nemechek.
Yeah, I think Nemechek probably said, well, you know, Biffle's coming hard. He's pretty fast. I believe I'll pull down and let him go by.
Is that hard to do as a veteran driver, just to let somebody go, Darrell?
No, it really isn't for somebody like Nemechek, who knows this car is not exactly like he'd like it. They've helped it a lot. He keeps improving it, but this is no time to make the issue, press the issue. Let him go, get one more stop in. Maybe we can make the car good enough where I don't have to do that.
Well, Michael Waltrip just made a strong move on Todd Bodine to move up to 4th, and that is the only car on the track right now that's as quick as Greg Biffle, looking at the lap times, Matt.
And this morning, Michael Waltrip made a big announcement that this team will run the entire Busch Series schedule in 2002. He also announced that Shauna Robinson will drive this 99 car at Talladega, Texas, and Nashville. They are also trying to put together a deal to run Kerry Earnhardt in a couple races this year, trying to pay back a big favor that Dale Earnhardt gave Michael.
Shauna Robinson, the first woman to win a pole in the NASCAR Busch Series. She did it right here in Atlanta.
And she's the best female driver I've ever seen. I mean, she really has a lot of talent. She runs in the ARCA Series. She runs the little short tracks, little half miles, gets in there and beats and bangs with the best of them. She goes to Daytona or Talladega, and she's right there with them all the time.
Brad Baker getting overlapped by Greg Biffle. 137 laps complete here. We've had 5 cautions for 24 laps and 12 different lead changes among 7 leaders. 30 of the 43 starters still running.
All right, here comes it. You know, I like to talk about at the line now. Here comes the leader. He's at the line now. And we'll look back, and you can see what about 5 seconds. So there goes Mikey right there.
There you see Michael Waltrip is quicker on this last lap.
By a lot. I mean, he's got that high. The car came in, he got back up high, and he's making good time.
31 flat.
Matt Kenseth is in.
31.35.
He was our 3rd place car at that point.
65 laps to go, Larry. This is final stop.
I think it's a little bit short, but he can go the distance from here. You know, we've seen him run around 65 laps. It's a little bit, could be a little strategy here, but I thought it was an awfully short. I would at least probably run up to lap 150.
Yeah, that's exactly when he ran out of gas before, Larry. It was right around this time, so maybe...
They've got a problem on this car. You see him pulling tape off.
Got it plugged in yet?
Yeah, they're running hot. What he's doing right there, what this guy's doing right here, there's a quick fill right there, and they're trying to get a high-pressure hose on it to shoot water into the radiator. He was running hot. We've seen a lot of that today.
But that car runs hot a lot. You know, I see him in his Winston Cup car. They run hot a lot.
Let's pick up the 6th place battle. Jason Keller, and you're riding with Jeff Purvis. Our MBNA Cam in 7th place.
Purvis is doing a good job today. I mean, he's been right there in the top 10, and he's running that high line.
Clear.
For more on Purvis, here's Steve.
Well, Jeff Purvis is complaining that this car is too tight right now. He's having trouble turning it. They're going to make a wedge adjustment on their last pit stop.
And that adjustment could be, you know, as little as a half a turn can affect the way these cars handle. Half a pound of air pressure, a half a turn on the wedge bolt. There he is. He's in there, and you can see his hands on the steering wheel.
31,
it's a little dark right there now.
That's it, man. Get that rhythm.
He knows we're watching him. He hit his hand. There you go. You get turning a big handful into the corner.
Going after Keller.
Now see how smooth he tries to be off. Don't fight with the car off the corner. Takes a little effort to get it down in there, but once it's in there, you got to be real smooth with it off the corner, or the thing will come around with you. This could be, he's complaining about a little tight. Watch his hands go over the top. Tight's when you go in the corner and the car wants to go up the track, and we're seeing a lot of them do that. That's when the car's tight. You got the wheels turned, but she's going up the hill. When those hands get around there like that, the car's just way too tight. It usually slows it down. Driver likes it. It's not really a problem for him because he can control it with the accelerator, but it's not fast.
And what it does, it really hurts the straightaway speed because you have to back off right at the exit of the corner.
Yeah, it's just not fast when it's that way.
And that's reflected in his lap times. Jeff Purvis's times right now are 2 to 4/10 of a second slower than race leader Greg Biffle. Here is Biffle, the only driver to lead every race this year in the NASCAR Busch Series. And Jeannie has an update on one of the drivers involved in that turn 2 wreck.
Well, guys, first of all, let me say Tim Sauter is fine. He walked out of the care center. He's a little banged up, but no worse for the wear, and very happy to be in one piece because he said his helmet was cracked. He took a really bad shot to the head. He thought he could get through the spin, but then he got caught up in it. And he did say the reason it took him a while to get out of the car is because he went unconscious, but very happy to be walking out of the care center. And he told me he's just going to go rest for a while.
Good that he's okay. Thanks, Jeannie. 145 laps complete. Greg Biffle running 31.2 seconds. Michael Waltrip is 2/10 quicker than our race leader.
I mean, he is by far the fastest car. Maybe Bobby Kennedy was telling us right. The pressure is built up. He's moved to the top of the racetrack now. He's running down Joe Nemechek for this 2nd place.
Oh, he's so much faster through the middle of the corner. Watch him close down on Joe.
But he picks that throttle up way before the center of the corner.
Well, that's the good thing about being up high like that. You can just get back in the gas so much quicker. You just make the track a lot bigger. The car doesn't have to turn so sharp.
Look how bright the sun is here going into turn 1. This is a real problem. Look at him. He's got to run on the high side. Joe Nemechek on the bottom side there in 87.
And see, that's a veteran right there. Joe Nemechek, he sees Michael's faster. He doesn't race him. He doesn't try to hold him up. He lets him go. Fall in behind him and follow him. Maybe he can learn something.
At the time of this pass, note this, Michael Waltrip is 1.5 seconds behind leader Greg Biffle. Let's see if he can close in when we come back.
Hey, Notch, why is it called a pit stop?
Haven't you ever had a lube job?
No, I'm a virgin.
Son of the Beach premieres Tuesday at 10, only on FX.
Discover the spark that brought you together. Go RVing. Life's a trip. Visit an RV dealer or call for a free video.
A chunky Super Bowl moment. Kurt Warner's mom filled him up right with Campbell's Chunky New England Clam Chowder. Now heartier than ever with bigger chunks of clams. Never did a clam do so much for a ram.
From all the race fans at Aaron Sales and Lease Ownership, a first series race with the drama of 12 extra miles.
12 extra miles?
It's called the Aaron's 312.
What kind of idiot approved 12 extra miles?
Ken Butler.
Well, what about pit strategy? What about tires? What about fuel? What about you two? Who are you?
We're the Aaron's 312 girl. Ken approved us, too.
The Aaron's 312, Atlanta Motor Speedway, March 10th on FX.
Like I said, I like the way this Butler guy thinks.
If you can't stop here, stop here. For 25% off the regular price of Midas BSD brake pads and shoes. They've got a lifetime guarantee. They're quieter, they stop faster, and last longer. Go Midas.
Napkins.
The Whopper says, any food left unattended is community property.
That's so wrong.
In the land of burgers, the flame-broiled Whopper is king.
Oh, here we go.
Greg Biffle's streak of leading every race continue? We'll find out next week in Darlington, South Carolina, Saturday, 12:30 Eastern on Fox. And then March 24th at Bristol, Tennessee, 12:30 p.m. Eastern on FX. And then in Texas, March 31st, we're on Fox at 1 p.m. Eastern time with the NASCAR Busch Series. Greg Biffle is leading Michael Waltrip. That margin has stayed constant, 1.6 seconds, first to second. Dick Berggren.
Well, Greg knows all about that margin, Mike, because he is multitasking this afternoon. He's got more voices in his ear than a television racetrack announcer. He has got people telling him on virtually every lap, not only his lap times, but also the lap times of Michael Waltrip and Joe Nemechek behind him. And they're telling him what lines Michael Waltrip and Joe Nemechek are running. It's an incredible job that he is doing, Biffle, in paying attention to all this information and not losing his focus on the racetrack.
What they don't know is he doesn't have his radio on.
I'll bet he does.
I've had him do that to me, and I just turned it down where I barely could hear him. But like I told you, he's got a lot of coaches and a lot of teachers over there working with him, and he's in a great race car, and he's performing exceptionally well.
Michael, 1.6 seconds back. Let's compare their speeds this lap. Pretty close.
Michael makes a little move, you know, he gains a little and then he loses a little. They're pretty equal. I don't see much difference in the two cars right now, Larry.
No, again, it's like the catch and lap traffic now. The real thing, we talked about this last week at Las Vegas. We're about 5 to 10 laps away from that final green flag pit stop. What Michael Waltrip's crew chief, Greg Biffle's crew chief, all these guys are doing, they're getting that team together. Look, just a good solid stop. No mistakes. They're talking to the drivers. Don't speed down pit road. This is the stop that counts, guys.
All right, we want to be here for pit stops, so we'll take our pit stop now. 156 laps complete in the Aaron's 312 on FX.
NASCAR Busch Series Racing invades Bristol Motor Speedway on March 24 for the Cheez-It 250. Good seats are still available. Call 423-764-1161. Bristol Motor Speedway. Racing.
This is Sandra's world. A world where children die from diseases that you can cure with one phone call. So how can a child like Sandra survive in a world like this? You could leave them here. No one will ever know you did. Or you can make one phone call and save one child. Ask us to send you a picture of a child whose life will change forever because you made a phone call.
Hi, I'm Bruce Slusher, the new vehicle manager at Bill Curry Ford. We've been selling cars and trucks at the best prices in Tampa Bay for over 40 years. You can buy a brand new 2001 Ford Escape with AC and a convenience group for as little as $329 a month. And if you think that's amazing, how about a 2001 Ford Focus 4-door automatic and AC for just $199 a month? So if you're looking for the best deal in town, you just found it. Come and ask for me personally. I'm here 6 days a week. At Bill Curry Ford, we've been doing things right for over 40 years.
Nursing homes neglect the sick and the elderly every day. When you place a loved one in a nursing home, you expect kind and personal attention for them, but that is not always what they receive. Terrible bed sores, broken bones, and even death from neglect are often the case. Nursing home abuse is a crime. If a member of your family has been injured or has received bad treatment in a nursing home, call Richard Mulholland for a free consultation. We have the legal and medical experience to help you with your case.
Race day wraps up with NASCAR Victory Lane, a full recap of all the day's action. NASCAR Victory Lane, Sundays on Fox Sports Net.
Michael Waltrip has just suffered a 22.5-second pit stop to replace tires after receiving right side damage against the wall at turn 2. Now we're still under green. Race leader Joe Nemechek, or excuse me, not the leader, but Joe Nemechek has come on to pit road.
These are pretty much routine pit stops right here.
Good stop.
Leader Greg Biffle stays out on the racetrack. Now watch first what happened to Biffle.
This is up off turn 2. Just
see his hands. See his hands are going down to the right. Yeehaw! I'd say his tires are worn out. I'd say that's probably a product of worn out tires. Same thing here with Michael. Michael's up, way up there against the wall. I mean, literally up against it. Whoa! He pancaked it. I'd be surprised that didn't do a little more damage than just bend sheet metal on his car.
But he rode it off the wall and brought it around to pit road.
Well, it was time for a stop, so, you know, it didn't really throw him out of sequence that much, but did a lot of damage to the right side of that car.
Jeff Green, the 5th place car, is in. Jeannie?
Well, guys, one man's pain is another man's opportunity. Jeff wasn't going to come in for another 15 laps, but what happened to the 99 car accommodated him. He did not like the set of tires that was on the car, so he will get more. And he's off. And he's going to get some help, by the way, guys, with 92. Jimmy Johnson's agreed to help him catch the leaders. Matt?
Todd Bodine's in for his final scheduled pit stop. It will be a Ford tire change. They're going to go back to some chassis settings they had in the previous pit stop. They took one round out. The car actually got tighter. They're going to put that back in. They are also going to adjust the 00 of Todd Bodine with air pressure. And now he's down and away. 18.5 seconds.
Those guys will be celebrating with 18.5. What they've been through last couple weeks.
Leaders in. Greg Biffle comes to, or excuse me, not Biffle. I'm sorry, that's the 74 of Chad Little. In the glare, it looked much like Biffle's car. Mike McLaughlin getting service. We're told that he has only 4th gear, which has dropped him down the running order somewhat.
That's really going to hurt him when he has to leave the pit lane here. He's getting out pretty well.
Let's watch from Michael Waltrip's onboard camera what happened up there in turn 2.
This is one of the problems with running up high in that high groove. I mean, he didn't hit it hard, but it doesn't take a lot to knock the toe off or to bend the fenders all in on the tires.
How's that car, Steve?
Well, guys, it's interesting. We heard Michael Waltrip talking to Bobby Kennedy when he was coming down pit road. He said, guys, don't do much to it. I don't think it's hurt that badly. So they changed 4 tires and made sure the sheet metal wasn't running, but Michael didn't feel like he had done that much damage.
Michael working through a pack of cars there, including Jason Keller, who you see just ahead on the left. And P.J. Jones is in that group. Here's your leader, Greg Biffle. who now enjoys a 20-second advantage on Jeff Purvis.
Yeah, but he can't stay out there much longer because you had Joe Nemechek, you had Jeff Green in there, and they're going to be back out there running about 3/4 to a second faster than he is. They need to get this car on pit road and quit giving up all that time.
We're told he's coming this time, Larry.
I told him that he better get that thing in there.
So Purvis will then pick up the lead. He's about 19 seconds back right now. You're riding with their Purvis.
And Biffle on pit road.
Pit road is a long way at 45 miles an hour. The only way they know how to maintain it is through the tag. Dick Berggren, how about our leader coming into the pits?
Well, the big question is whether they were going to put a spring rubber in the right rear of the car. Crew Chief Randy Goss wanted to do it. Jack Roush didn't want to do it. They're going to try and put it in anyway. These guys are as fast as anybody at throwing a spring rubber in or hauling one out. In fact, they may be the fastest pit crew anywhere at doing that. Kyle Hardy's the guy in the back end. He changes the rear tires. That's his responsibility. Zoom all the way around to the left side already. He's done a great job if, in fact, he got that rubber in. Left side going on. They've got to clean the grill. They're running hot at 230. Wow, good stop. 1940.
He got it in there, and he did a good job. You didn't even hardly know the difference.
He just slid her right in there. Cat in the hat. He liked that.
We'll see if that's the right strategy, as here comes Todd Bodine on new tires, whipping past Jeff Purvis on old tires. We'll be right back with more NASCAR on FX.
Oh, baby. Tough Man brings out its best as we revisit LT's historic fight, along with a hard body.
I'm the baddest brother on the planet!
A chameleon.
Can't take the heat without a kitchen.
And a Mac Daddy.
I got the choo-choo going on.
There's nothing better. The best of Tough Man 2001, today after NASCAR on FX.
Get revved up for 8 back-to-back episodes of Son of the Beach with behind-the-scenes info from the cast all night. Son of the Beach Marathon, Monday night starting at 8 on FX.
Hi, I'm Ken Butler, president of Aaron's Sales and Lease Ownership, proud sponsor of the Aaron's 312.
It's the Busch Series race with the drama of 12 extra miles. Ah, but here's why the race is called the Aaron's 312.
Because of the 3 great reasons to get the products you dream about from Aaron's.
1, everyone is pre-approved. 2, everyone gets the guaranteed lowest price.
And 3, Aaron's 12-month lease ownership.
Get it? The Aaron's 312. Aaron's 312 is for everyone, everywhere. So let Aaron's drive your dreams home.
Gotta be a Grand Prix driver.
The Pontiac Grand Prix with wide track handling. Its wheels are set wide for better control and grip in the curves. Wider is better.
Now lease a new wide track Grand Prix with a CD player and aluminum wheels for as low as $277 a month. See your Pontiac dealer today.
Winston Cup practice here on FX follows our Aaron's 312 telecast, so stay with us. Final tune-up for tomorrow's 500-miler that you'll see on Fox at 12:30 Eastern Time. Before the race, NASCAR This Morning on Fox Sports Net. After the race, we bookend our NASCAR coverage with NASCAR Victory Lane at 9 p.m. Final pit stops perhaps done. We'll be right back and pick it up.
Tuesday, Notch is in Hawaii looking for action.
Behind you, Roxy.
Adult comedy for the teen and all of us. The season premiere of Son of the Beach, Tuesday at 10 on FX.
Refreshing as a mountain stream. Head for the mountains of Busch beer.
Americans love power. And they love their high-performance Briggs & Stratton engines. That's why just about every neighborhood in America is a Briggs & Stratton neighborhood. Briggs & Stratton. The power that works for you.
You ready
ready, guys. This could be the ride of your life. You got to get past the myths and the excuses. Erectile difficulty is a common problem. Effective treatment is available. Talk to your doctor. You might be surprised how easily you can get through it.
If you can't stop here, stop here. For 25% off the regular price of Midas VSD brake pads and shoes. They've got a lifetime guarantee, and they're the best we've ever offered. They're quieter, they stop faster, and last longer. And if they wear out, we'll provide you with new ones at no charge for as long as you own your car. So for 25% off VSD brakes, go Midas.
Welcome back to Atlanta. Our coverage of the Aaron's 312. Mike Joy with Darrell Waltrip, Larry McReynolds. Joe Nemechek back out front. Greg Biffle 5.5 seconds behind. And of the young guns that started toward the front, Biffle's having the best day. Kevin Harvick, who was outside pole, just went a lap down. Ryan Newman, the pole sitter, is out of the race. Scott Wimmer still on the lead lap, started 4th, now running in 14th position. And Ashton Lewis, who started 8th, got caught up in a wreck not of his making, and is one of the 13 cars in the garage.
And Biffle's got all kinds of problems. He's got lap cars up there in front of him, and he's going to run out of laps.
Dick Berggren?
Well, Greg Biffle has just called into his crew, and he has told them that he is driving the car for all it is worth. In case you're wondering, he can't drive any harder than he's going right now. Meanwhile, Randy Goss called back and told Biffle that he should remember that last time around, the 87 Nemechek slowed down more than he did on old tires. Psychology? Maybe. We'll see.
5.4 seconds, and Biffle is a little quicker than Nemechek this lap.
Yeah, that's not psychology. The only thing I questioned was, why would you put a spring rubber in the car that was leading the race?
Well, and I think the difference in what they've got now, 5.5 seconds between first and second, is that little extra time to put that spring rubber. But also, I want to point out, Joe Nemechek was one of the first cars on pit road at lap 161. They waited till lap 168, 7 laps later on Biffle. That equated probably to about a half a second a lap on those fresher tires.
Yeah, well, he's closing the gap on him. There's no question about that. He's a little quicker, but man, I don't know if I'd have worked on my car if it was running that good. But, you know, we have seen time and time again, Nemechek slows down after, 20, 25 laps.
Darrell, now I've worked with you, I don't know how many times. If you thought you could make your race car better, we'd work on it. Now, don't tell us that. You know better than that.
I know what you would have told me, though. You said, man, this is a green flag pit stop. We can't do that.
Matt Kenseth has climbed from his car. Jeannie?
Yes, and I'm with him right now. I guess every 10 laps, the temperature was going up in the car. It got to 260 degrees. The water, you guys kept overheating. Is that why you called it a day here?
Yeah, we just kept having problems after problems. The Visine car ran really good today, and first we ran out of gas, and then we didn't have a good pit stop. We just kept getting ourselves too far in the hole, and finally something happened where we started using water, and the car kept getting hot, so instead of blowing the engine up, we decided to call it a day.
A couple of back-to-back tough races. Go get them next week, but more importantly, happy birthday.
I didn't hear what you said, but it was a tough day for us. I thought we had a lot of bad luck. Like I said, I thought the Visine car was real fast.
Happy birthday.
And thanks for wishing me happy birthday. Hopefully it'll do better tomorrow.
Yeah, go relax.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Matt Kenseth. Happy birthday to you. And by the way, Martha, too.
Martha Nemechek. Joe's mom. Joe is out in front.
Hey, Darrell, there's one thing about it. I'm prepared for you. If you're going to sing for us, I brought a pitch pipe. Let me get you on the right tune now, buddy. Okay? Let's see, which one need to be here? This right here, okay? Can you do that?
Lower.
He doesn't have a pitch pipe. He's got a one-note harmonica down there.
Now they've even got entertainment down there in the hotel.
Yeah.
It's the best band they've got in the Hollywood Hotel.
Back on the track, we have 20 laps to go. And Joe Nemechek is your leader over Greg Biffle, Todd Bodine, Michael Waltrip, and Jeff Green. We'll be right back.
The tragedy.
We've got 47 men dead, and we've got to go step by step.
The cover-up.
What happened in that gun turret?
The
scapegoating a dead man to protect itself.
James Caan.
This goes way beyond disloyalty.
A glimpse of hell based on a true story. Premieres March 18th at 8.
I hang out with a pretty trashy circle. The circle that helps this circle by recycling trash. We sort glass, plastic, separate cans, stack newspapers, and magazines. Now, thanks to us, there are lots of products made from things we've already recycled. This cereal box wants your Sunday paper. These paper clips, in a more daring life, a 56 convertible. The circle works like this. It starts when we recycle trash at home and at work. It's completed when we buy products made from or packaged in recycled materials. How do you know the difference? Check the label for something called post-consumer recycled content. It looks like this. Make a mental note. Then buy the highest percentage of it you can find. You'll save a tree, you'll save energy, and in your own way, you'll help save the world. Complete the circle.
Call 1-800-2-RECYCLE for your free shopping guide. Environmental Defense. Finding the ways that work.
I can listen.
I can cook.
Good. I can coach.
Kids with something to do are less likely to do drugs.
I can drive.
I can paint. I can dance.
A little of your time can make a lifetime of difference.
I can read.
I can help. You can help. Call toll-free 1-877-KIDS-313 to find out about community drug prevention programs.
I can keep a kid off drugs.
Medical Miracles, Medical Misfits, the world's most incredible medical videos, parts 1 and 2. Later today after NASCAR and Tough Man on FX.
Welcome back to Atlanta, where the Aaron's 312 has seen 13 lead changes among 8 different leaders. 6 cars up on that lead lap. Greg Biffle trying to close on Joe Nemechek for that lead. Here's what happened to him just a moment ago.
He just got loose getting in the corner. He gets the back end around. Man, I don't think he hurt it that much, kind of like what Michael did to his car. Sure didn't slow him down a whole lot, but he got loose getting in there, and that's that rubber in the right rear, and I tell you, I wouldn't have done that.
But he's losing a lot of ground. He had went to under 4 seconds behind Joe. Now he is 7 seconds here with about 14 laps to go.
Now, Larry, he caught that wall pretty good. Can you afford to stop? Do you need to stop?
No, you can't stop. It's not smoking the tires. It just did some body damage. I don't think it hurt anything else. It probably knocked the toe out. But in the position he's in right now, if he can just make it to the finish, he'll be, second place probably.
Yeah, they've got the spotter looking, making sure he don't see any tire smoke, any tire rub, and they're just telling him, here, look, we got 13 laps to go. We just need to finish this thing.
Let's show you speeds this lap. Here comes Nemechek. He's the race leader by 7.7 seconds.
There he is at the line. And here comes Biffle right there.
That's over 8 seconds. He continues to lose about 3 to 4 tenths a lap.
He'll have his work cut out of him for him just holding on to second place with the damage to the car.
He's 6 seconds in front of Todd Bodine in the 00 car. So, again, they're just trying to nurse that thing home. This is Joe Nemechek's teammate right here. He owns that car, Randy LaJoy, in the 7 car.
Well, that took a lot of pressure off of Nemechek. He knew Biffle was closing up a little bit, but now he can just basically take his time.
There's Biffle, and now you're going to see Todd Bodine and Michael Waltrip coming up on Todd Bodine as they cycle through.
There you go, right there. Michael has been chasing Todd down, and Michael hit the wall a lot like Biffle did, and I thought it might have done a lot of damage, but looks like he's going to continue on and finish the race.
A lot of glare in the windshield from our Aaron's onboard camera on Michael Waltrip.
Always like that going into turn 1 this late in the afternoon.
Oh, man, it just drives you crazy. You can't see anything. You rely on the spotter. That's what you rely on.
Windshield gets sandblasted, tire rubber, grease, and then you throw the sun in there. You just follow the image of a car getting off in the corner.
10 laps to go.
Once you've been going around here all afternoon, you kind of know where you're going.
I don't know if I'm buy that one.
I wondered if you'd like that explanation or not.
8.4 seconds first to second. Another 6 seconds back to the third place car, Dick.
As Joe Nemechek Nemechek has faced adversity on several occasions this weekend, but neither he nor his crew have become flustered as a result. On his time trial, the rear end blew apart just as he crossed the start-finish line on the very first lap. He held his breath, hoped the car wouldn't spin out, hoped he would get there, and indeed, he wound up with a good qualifying position. Today, during the race, on several occasions, his car has not been just right. He's drifted back. And the conversation between Nemechek and his crew chief, Brian Patty, has always been careful, always reserved, always confident. And now here they are in the closing laps, getting ready potentially to win the race.
His lead is now bulged to 9 seconds.
That was Joe's wife, Andrea. She had stood on top of many a pit box along with his mom, Martha, and waved him on. Look, here's the 99 and 00. This is for third place here with about 7 or 8 laps to go. Jay Sauter in the 43 car laps down.
And another lap car.
Yeah, it's
Rich Bickle.
Yeah, Bickle down there, and he had to pull down, and Michael didn't get back in line. Cost him a good bit of time. Just up on the back of the bumper of Todd, and those slow cars got in the way.
Tim Fita was going to the garage as Nemechek leads by 9 seconds. 7 to go.
This is where Brian Patty just tells him, look, you got a 9-second lead. Pick and choose where you pass your lap traffic. Be smooth. We'll keep you posted. Spotter's on top of his job. There's Brian Patty, his crew chief. Been up there a lot of times for a lot of Joe Nemechek's wins. Just be smooth, Joe. We got it here if we just be smart.
There's Greg Biffle, your second place car. 9.4 seconds back. It looks like he may be able to hang on to that second place as the cars behind him are locked up with race traffic. Good run for Biffle today. Good, strong, solid, kind of championship contending kind of run. And that number 60 team, remember Mark Martin drove that car in the past. The number 60 has now led all 10 Atlanta Busch Series races.
And guys, he led it today, but I guarantee you he's going to be in victory lane many times. There's the 00 right there, Todd Bodine. Again, this is third place right there.
Yeah, he's pretty much busted through that pack of traffic that now Michael Waltrip has to fight through.
And that's what they've been doing, too. I mean, I've been watching that little bit of that crowd right there, and they are having to fight their way through because it's the end of the race. Everybody's racing for position one way or another.
Guys, we keep going back to that first pit stop. Joe Nemechek, they made that gutsy call, pulled that spring rubber out of that right rear. That old car was getting loose, wearing that right rear tire out. They decided to get that rubber out early. Let's make adjustments. Joe's wife, Andrea.
Tomorrow, Nemechek will start 11th in the Winston Cup race on Fox.
And I got to believe what you learned today in these cars now, the way they run this so close to the same speed as a Winston Cup car, is going to pay off for you tomorrow. It's going to pay big dividends for tomorrow.
In 9 Busch Series appearances, he has only one top 5 finish, 5th place in 1997. But he's coming closer and closer to victory lane today. 3 laps to go. Biffle now 10 seconds back, but that's still 4 seconds ahead of Todd Bodine.
And Bodine's streak is going to end. He's not going to win 3 in a row. It doesn't look like. I mean, we don't want to count anything off just yet, but still, to run second today would be running third right now. Yeah, it's 2 wins and a third in the last 3 races. That's pretty impressive.
Take that to the bank
for a guy that was only going to do a 1-race deal.
Right, driver. Yeah.
Brings Todd into the picture. Michael Waltrip trying to run him down.
They've been all over each other, but to no avail.
White flag for Joe Nemechek. Looking for his first win since Talladega last April.
Todd Bodine up in the middle of 3 and 4.
He's going to make it around and finish this race as Nemechek heads off in the corner on his final lap. In his 195th Busch Series start, Joe Nemechek picks up his 10th series victory. Looking for Greg Biffle.
He's somewhere back there. There he is.
Second place car. Todd Bodine was third. Michael Waltrip will finish third. But here's what happened to Todd.
Down in the middle of turn 3 and 4. Got up there in that gray stuff. Right side tires up there. Just run out of racetrack there.
The back end just got a little bit loose. Same thing happened to Biffle. Got a little loose getting into 3. Got him up the track, and you can see how dirty it is up there.
From the Aaron's camera on board Michael Waltrip.
And I'm sure he's working real hard, driving down in there real hard, trying to hold Michael off, and just got in there a little too hard on the last lap. Gets up high, gets up in that loose stuff, back end comes around, slides into the wall, tries to pull it down off of there. Here he goes.
So Michael takes over 3rd on the final lap, and before they got to the flag, Jeff Green got 4th. Todd Bodine finishes 5th, and there's a thumbs up from Greg Biffle to Joe Nemechek.
Harvick, Jimmy Johnson, great job for those guys. McLaughlin.
There's a pancake side.
All the cars behind the winner have those. Michael, 00, Biffle.
Jeff Purvis, a good finish in 6th. Jason Keller, 7th.
I'm telling you, look like they've been running on a short track.
And a top 10 for Tony Raines.
And the winner drives into victory circle unscathed.
How about that?
Winners always do seem like. Look at that windshield. Golly, you can hardly see out of there.
Well, that's the best birthday present a mother could want, especially one who's as avid a race fan as Martha Nemechek. Her son Joe makes it to victory lane.
A very deserving family. It's a family affair right there. Mom, dad, wife. Look at the, can you see the windshield? I'm going to stand up there. The windshield is incredible.
Acknowledges his crew. Matt's with him.
For the first time in almost a year, Joe Nemechek gets a hug from crew chief Brian Patty. You made it back to victory lane. Congratulations. A big birthday for your mom.
Oh, yes. I got to say happy birthday to Mom. How about that Chevrolet Monte Carlo? That thing's awesome all day long. We thought we were going to have a shot at sitting on the pole, and we ended up 3rd. And, it just, the track changed during the day. We got to practice yesterday under cloudy conditions, and today, the set before this last set of tires, the track seemed like it tightened right up. Told Brian, I said, we got to loosen it up. He loosened it up there, and that last set of tires was awesome. I got to thank Cellular One, Nortel Networks, Kleenex, all the folks, especially Ed Evans. You couldn't make it, but his wife's fixing to have a baby anytime, so it was a good day for us.
Did you question the short pitting call by Brian?
No, I've learned. I don't question I just tell him what's going on, and if we end up losing a race by short pitting one day, so be it. We end up winning one today. I thought I got my hats off to Greg Biffle. He did a heck of a job. We got a lead on him, and I know he was coming, and he had to push his stuff as hard as he could go because I was running mine as hard as I could, and I guess he just ran out of room there. But what a great day.
Congratulations. Joe Nemechek picks up his 10th career win. Mike?
Family celebration in victory lane for the Nemecheks. And we'll get a word with runner-up Greg Biffle when we come back with more NASCAR on FX.
Busch Series Racing on FX, live from Darlington, the track that's too tough to tame. Next Saturday, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific, followed by Happy Hour on FX.
Tom Green here at Muscle Beach with some big, tough weightlifters. We're going to show how Leg Guard Extreme Sport works even under the most extreme conditions. Back, stop! Uh-oh. Run, go down the kid, he's going to get you. He got you. Look, extreme protection against odor and wetness. Goes on clear and it doesn't quit. Kitty.
Brake Guard Extreme Sport. Get extreme. Get Brake Guard.
Ouch.
From all the race fans at Aaron's Sales and Lease Ownership, a Busch Series race with the drama of 12 extra miles.
12 extra miles?
It's called the Aaron's 312.
What kind of idiot approved 12 extra miles?
Ken Butler.
Hey, what about pit strategy? What about tires? What about fuel? What about you two? Who are you?
We're the Aaron's 312 girl. Ken approved us, too.
The Aaron's 312, Atlanta Motor Speedway, March 10th on FX.
Like I said, I like the way this Butler guy thinks.
Remember your first kiss, your first slow dance, your first test drive? Get that feeling back at Pep Boys, where new 35,000-mile tires are just $4 for $99. Fall in love with your car again at Pep Boys. Tempting, flirtatious, seductive. And that's just the fender. It's that time of year at Pep Boys where you can save over $90 on these great car care products. Fall in love with your car again at Pep Boys.
Kevin, I'm going out. Remember, when the guy comes to fix the dryer, tell him it doesn't dry. If your mother calls, find out what flight she's on, otherwise we won't know where to meet her. Dinner's in the oven. Turn it on at 5.
Eat a Wendy's honey ham and chicken sandwich and something happens. That delicious combination of a whole breast filet, honey ham, and creamy Dijon sauce makes it difficult to pay attention to anything else.
And I told the neighbor you feed their cats. If you have a minute, honey, the back door's stuck open.
Come in. Wendy's honey ham and chicken.
Lunch, anyone?
Joe Nemechek has won the Aaron's 312 and escapes Atlanta with one of the very few cars that are unscathed. Have a look at the right side of Todd Bodine's 5th place finishing car, the Buckshot team. 3rd place, Michael Waltrip's right side. 2nd place, Greg Biffle's right side. Did we just finish Atlanta, or have we been at Darlington?
I don't know, but these guys all need training wheels. You know what? They need some little Nerf bars on the side of their car.
Biffle just getting loose down in turn 3 up against that wall.
We'll be at Darlington next week, not this week, Steve Burns.
Yeah, well, let's talk to Greg Biffle about that, Mike. Greg, see a lot of damage to the right side of the car. Tell us about the close of the race.
Well, I'll tell you what, the guys gave me a great car today. The Granger Ford Taurus was just awesome. But I really feel bad for the guys. They worked real hard the last couple weeks, and 15 laps to go, I was giving it all it's worth. You know, I was driving it, and that's what it was going to take to catch Nemechek. And I was going into turn 3 there, just got a little bit high, just getting greedy with 15 to go. We got in the fuzz and got away from me, and I thought I was going to wreck big. I did wreck big, but I was able to keep going, and I'll tell you what, the engine run really strong today. Chose the wrong gear last week at Vegas, and today the thing ran really good, and you know, I just wish we could have gotten victory lane. I feel real bad for the guys.
Well, guys, Greg Biffle did a fantastic job hanging on because the air is leaking from that right front tire.
Wow. High marks for Biffle, who has a 3rd and 2 seconds in his last 3 races. We'll talk to our 3rd place finisher, Michael Waltrip, when we come back with more NASCAR on FX.
NASCAR on FX has been brought to you by Busch Beer, the official sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series. By Go RVing. Visit GoRVing.com. And by Sears.
You know, this is great.
Rediscover the lost art of conversation. Go RVing. Life's a trip. Visit an RV dealer or call for a free video.
If you can't stop here, stop here. For 25% off the regular price of Midas BSD brake pads and shoes. They've got a lifetime guarantee. They're quieter, they stop faster, and last longer. Go Midas.
I can tell by looking whether a vehicle's been driven hard or not. This guy's one of my regular customers. Scorched brake rotors, beat up oil pan, probably never takes his foot off the gas. He trusts me to make sure it performs, and I trust CarQuest Auto Parts. I mean, you never know. Someday you might need to give me a ride.
CarQuest for quality auto-like spark plugs. The key to sure starts and smooth running engines. That's why pros turn to auto-like spark plugs. CarQuest, the professional choice.
Never once did your car ask you for flowers. Never once did it ask you if it looks fat. Or did it get mad at you for leaving the seat up? Doesn't it deserve something special in return?
A tragic accident took the lives of 47 sailors and led to one of the biggest cover-ups in naval history. James Caan.
This goes way beyond his loyalty.
A glimpse of hell. Premieres Sunday, March 18th at 8 on FX.
Joe Nemechek celebrates with the Aaron's 312 Winners Trophy, in the image of the state of Georgia. And Michael Waltrip, in 8 appearances here, has just notched his 2nd top 3 finish. Dick Berggren?
He has been debriefing with Bobby Kennedy, his crew chief. Excuse me, mind if I get in there? Okay, very good. What are you doing running so hard on such a fast racetrack as this? You bounce her off the wall.
Just greedy, you know, you want to go. And my car was so good as the laps wore on, but I gave up too much on the start, and that's what Bobby and I just were talking about. All this team has just done a great job getting us ready. Jerry, Ronnie Silver, all the boys that worked so hard on it, Glenn. And I'm just real proud to go out there and show them that they're smart, you know, and they can build a fast car. And I knew I was in trouble, Dick, early when I showed them the groove. I said, somebody's going to bite me with that, and a couple of them did.
How bad did it affect the handling when you bounced it off the wall?
I don't know. It wasn't as good as it was earlier, but it wasn't too bad. It didn't really knock anything out of whack too badly. The Aaron's Dream Machine was just so much fun to drive early, and at the end it was a little tight. And come putting a little pressure on Todd, and I'd be darned if he didn't run into the wall. So it's real tough out there to run that close to the wall. I saw Todd 3 or 4 times throwing up gravel when he'd go in the turn. I said, that made me feel good, because I said, all right, I know I'm not up that high, and he didn't crash. But then finally.
All right, let's go to Steve Burns.
Thanks, Dick, with Todd Bodine, whose win streak comes to an end. Todd, you said you came in 5th, but you screwed up. That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, driver error. We were 3rd coming to get the white flag, and I was racing Michael, trying to keep him behind me, and I got up a little too high in 3 and 4, scrubbed the wall, cost us 2 positions. Driver error. We should have been 3rd, and I just messed up.
All right, thanks, Todd. Good run.
Thanks.
So Joe Nemechek celebrates while Todd Bodine has his 3rd top 5 finish in 3 races, a 5th to go with 2 wins.
That last 12 miles, that extra 12 miles, it cost a couple of those guys.
Nemechek, Biffle, Michael Waltrip, Jeff Green. Biffle and Green did battle for that series championship. Todd Bodine.
Well, we didn't talk about Jeff Green much today, which don't happen much in a Busch National race. He just quietly sat back there, finished in the top 5. His first top 10 finish here. Best being 11th before.
Nice run for Jimmy Johnson and Tony Raines finishing up in the top 10. We'll look back through the field. Next week, it's on to Darlington, the track too tough to tame.
Well, now, if we saw these cars at Darlington next week with the sides all caved in on them like that, that's what Darlington, we always talk about the Darlington strike. But I think with the tire situations of harder tires that they're running on this year, we may see that a lot of races that we go to.
Yeah, these cars, all they need to do is replace little decals. They're just ready to go to Darlington. They already got that stripe on them.
Put me some new tires on that baby, new decals, and head on down to Darlington.
High attrition today, only 29 of 43 starters running at the finish.
They always say that's the track is too.
Just look at that car.